All right, everybody, we're live. I'm your boy, Strongman Personal Finance, also known as Christopher Bell, and I have a handsome guest here today. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Jay Naugy. I have my own YouTube page on finance, but I also do my podcast where I just get drunk and rant about things. But so check out this text. And okay, call me foolish, but I'm about to buy more Tesla stock. Okay. Are you speculating? No, I'm going in as soon as I get my next chunk of my tuition money back. Got me. God damn it. You need to join my podcast tonight live stream. LOL. Why? We're talking about the S&P 500. We're talking you and bad decisions is my response to him. Hey, man, listen here. I'm predicting on the 21st of December a big jump. Maybe. Long term, I think that
specifically picking
will
December.
win me a lot. Huh?
Why is he specifically picking December 21st?
I don't know. Is that the inclusion? No, Tesla's already included in the S&P 500. I've been buying a house, so I haven't kept up on anything recently. But my point was, Tesla. This is what I really wanted to honestly explain to him. Like, bro, you're listening to these YouTubers on Tesla that actually don't understand the underlying technology. When they talk about how all the cars are going to be this or that, I'm like, you do understand that physicists are telling you that they're basically at the physical limits, and there's no way they can make battery technology 10 times better than it is now. And they're solar. It's the same thing, man. You're running up against the physical limitations of the battery technology. We don't have the technology is not there yet. He also doesn't understand autonomous cars. These people think that in 5 years, Tesla's going to have a fully autonomous fleet of cars driving around. AI in a car is about as smart as a cockroach right now. And even if you had fully autonomous driving cars today, do you really think the government is going to let you just, oh, yeah, they just send the cars out on the road with no driver?
I mean, they will until there's a death and then a lawsuit, and then people are losing buku money, especially the companies that have these autonomous cars. I mean, but the whole point is, like, I don't understand the technology, and I don't give a crap about it. But what I do know is that there's tons of competition, and Tesla's price-to-earnings ratio is insane. So, number one, that just tells me that people are just buying the stock because somebody on YouTube told them to. And then number two is probably going to crash in the future because there's so much competition.
Volkswagen, I forget, Volkswagen alone has spent a ridiculous amount more money on electric vehicles and autonomous driving than Tesla has. But Volkswagen doesn't have Elon Musk, so apparently they're not going to know what to do. And they're stealing market share from Tesla in Europe. You're right. You're 100% right. These guys are getting this information from the YouTubers. That's why I watch these YouTubers. I'm like, okay, this guy is going to drive a whole bunch of speculation into the stock. I'm going to buy a small amount and then sell it. Like, make some quick money.
Dude, if we ever get big, we should like find these random penny stocks, and then we can start pumping them on our channels. You know, of course, we invest into it right before we pump it up. And then after a couple days, when it shoots up, then we sell. We make a ton of money.
Yeah, I have no desire to end up like Jeremy Lefebvre from Financial Education. That dude is an unscrupulous. I told you, I called his thing. I got on a phone call, and it was one of his lesson plans was $15,000 cash. And I said on the phone with the dude, would I be better investing $15,000 in Tesla stock that he keeps pumping up, or paying for this?
I mean, who has $15,000 in cash anyway? You know, I mean, even if you do have that much, it should be in stocks.
Dude, if you want to get into it, get into some stocks right now. Intel is really beaten down by the market, and I don't think it being where it is justified. Why? Because they're getting delayed on the size of their chips to get to the 7 nanometers, and so the stock was like 80 before all this stuff happened. It's trading at 47. Am I going to buy any of it? No, but I mean, it's just an interesting case of a Benjamin Graham looking for a stock that is sufficiently beaten down by bad news in the stock market.
Yeah, I mean, people get turned off by short-term news, and that's the perfect time to buy into a stock. And I mean, I haven't done any research on Intel, and I'm not looking to buy any individual stocks, but usually if it's a good company and it's been beaten down recently, that's usually a good indicator that you can buy into it. But let's be responsible here and make sure we tell our thousands of viewers that, number one, you don't invest more than 5% of your portfolio in any individual stocks or speculative investments like Bitcoin. 95% of your portfolio should be in broadly diversified index funds, preferably ones that track the world stock markets. And then you have that 5% as play money. That's how you should do it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Because I was explaining to this person at work when they were asking me for stock advice. I go, dude, this is an extremely difficult endeavor. I'm like, you're a married person with 2 kids. You don't have time to do this. I'm like, okay, first off, huh?
Just read Robinhood articles.
Yeah, right. Just go to YouTube and get ideas from all these YouTubers out there. But I was like, all right, if you want to do this, I'm like, you're gonna hold on. This is John, I think. Hello. He's in the waiting room, bro.
Oh, I see him.
Okay, you're in.
Jesus Christ, man. I've been waiting for like a good 3-4 minutes. I'm like, when are they gonna notice me? I'm writing in the chat, I'm texting you. I'm like, I feel like a fucking redheaded stepchild.
I maximize my screen so I can look at my face. So I wasn't paying attention.
I mean, that's the way you gotta do it though.
I mean, but hey, you're in now.
Chris, this is my buddy John. John, this is Chris.
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Good. John, it says D's nuts.
Got him.
Did you explain the discrepancy?
Well, I mean, if I have to explain the joke, I don't know if it's funny, but oh wait, what'd you say? Explain cryptocurrency?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I heard you talk about cryptocurrency right before we came in.
Well, dude, I kept telling Chris I broke the news to him today. I'm like, John just really speculates on Bitcoin, but I'm like, he's not like dumping a significant portion of his portfolio.
Oh no, I only got like my whole life savings about 400.
But I wanted you to talk to him because him and I share pretty much the same view on it, and neither one of us are convinced, other than speculation, that it's anything.
Well, it's never going to be anything other than speculation. Okay, which is fine. If you have 5% of your portfolio in it, I don't really care. Like, that's not going to offend me. And I'm not against putting 5% of your portfolio in Bitcoin if you really want to. But I thought you're one of those dude bros that put 95% of their money in Bitcoin.
No way.
They go to 10 billion, bro.
No, if anything, I mean, right now we see a rising market for it. So it's just like, it's just another source for you to just make some money short term. I mean, I would like to see it really take off, but the truth behind, like, if you just see what's happening lately, like, there's a lot of companies backing it. There's tech companies backing it. There's just PayPal just added it to their app and stuff like that. But not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrencies too. There's supposed to be there's more companies that are accepting it as a form of payment. So this year is recognized from the U.S. government as a legal form of, I don't know if they said legal, but they said it was a form of currency. So it's like, it's not like it was a couple of years ago where it's just like only, you had to be really techie to understand what it was. Now, think about how many people have PayPal. Especially this year, there's so many people got invested with or downloaded Robinhood and now are doing investments. You could buy cryptocurrency on that as well. So just the overall market for it in general has grown a lot. So if more people have faith in it, then it's going to become valuable, just like a dollar. Like the reason why a dollar is valuable is because people recognize it as being valuable.
Well, it's backed by the United States government or whatever, the German government.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not behind the gold standard anymore. It's just the fact that
agree with you.
In general, the concept of currency, the general concept of currency is the fact that people believe that it has value.
Agreed.
Same thing with the baseball card, or whatever. Hey, I think that this is valuable. Someone else will pay this much money for it, or they'll barter, or whatever it is. So,
I think this is going to happen, dude. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I think Bitcoin and a lot of them are going to explode, but in the end, be worth nothing. Going with the greater fool theory, because you have a serious problem. All the stuff that they say about cryptocurrency, when the quantum computer is invented, it'll be able to crack the code on it like that. Then it no longer
we
does.
Got a lot bigger problems when the quantum computer is invented.
Yeah, well, you understand.
Like really, when it comes down to like everything's fucked. Everything's fucked. If the quantum computer is invented, guess what? We do all of our online banking on the computer. Doesn't matter if it's cryptocurrency. We're just fucked in general. Well, there's going to be no such thing as money at that point. What?
Just buy gold and you'll be good. A quantum computer can't steal your gold.
There you go.
Yeah.
But in general, I mean, like, I feel like where it's going, there's people that are skeptical about the fucking internet and like computers or like anything. It's just like with time, more people adopt it. Maybe it'll become something good, So with that's why people are taking chances of just buying even a little bit now. You got nothing to lose. Don't dump all your fucking money in it, but at least do a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, as long as people understand that it's really based on, supply and demand, that's the only thing that drives the price of cryptocurrency. A lot of people think it's like an actual investment that's going to produce something, and they don't really think about when they're going to buy in. Like, oh, maybe it's super high and maybe I shouldn't. They just watch a YouTube channel, somebody hypes it up, and then they go freaking buy it, which is something that I'm totally against.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's people that do day trading on it too. Like, it's the same thing when it comes to stocks. It's funny, like you use the same patterns and all that shit too. So,
that's exactly the same thing. I mean, you can't really tell where a stock's going to go the next day or two because some new news could break and nobody expected it, and boom, it either goes up or down. So it's impossible to predict.
Well, that's why I kept telling people technical analysis is bullshit.
Oh god,
and they get mad at me.
There's a double helix top and bottom. Oh, you should buy at this point and sell at this point.
It's just stupid, man. Like, is that even a real thing? I've never taken a single second of my life to actually learn anything about technical analysis. So I'm completely ignorant of it. But I know it's just looking at freaking charts and trying to guess where the stock's going to go. That's all I really know about it. And that's all I really want to know about it. Unless you can enlighten me.
Well, a lot of trading is done by computers. So they follow certain algorithms. So when you learn when, there's a certain pattern and stuff, you can predict what the stock's going to do. You're not going to be able to do this shit with like stuff that's not has a lot of volume for the day. But like, say you have a stock that's moving about 50 million volume on average, and that day it's over 50 million. That means there's a lot of trading going on in it. There's going to be computer trades in that as well. I mean, listen, I'm talking. This is me. I'm an idiot. So this is what I've heard someone else say. So and I'm trying to repeat what somebody else said. So it's bro finance, like Jason.
Dude, but, you probably know more. You know way more with that statement about technical analysis than I know about it. Because I'm just like, when somebody was like, well, like you said, you got the hammer up and the hammer down. I'm like, don't care. What's the price to book value?
I see a hammer and sickle pattern. I think it's time to buy.
Yeah. Like honestly, one that people are saying there's all these different patterns and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know about that. I just know, hey, you're breaking your resistance level. All right, chances are it's gonna go fucking parabolic for a little bit. put some money in it, fucking trade it when you see it fucking hesitating. That's
You know,
all.
you
I'm
don't
not
even
like,
understand
oh,
the
it's
tax inefficiencies and trading costs and bid ask spreads. Like, you're losing so much freaking money. Even if you do get some gains, the taxes are going to destroy you because you have to figure out like your tax basis and how much gain you had. And that actually costs a lot of money. If you don't know how to do it, you have to go to a CPA who's going to charge you out the ass to do it. So there's a lot of cost
all
involved with
short
that.
term. You're going to be at the highest tax amount. You know, long term investments obviously lower tax rate. But yeah, it beats being in Canada getting fucking 50% capital gains tax. Oh.
Is that really their capital gains tax rate?
Yep, it's a flat 50%.
For long or just short?
Short. I don't know. I think it might be both. I mean, we could look this up right now. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it's.
Why would you even invest in Canada if you had to pay 50% of your gains in taxes? These communists.
Yeah. The fucking.
Why is nobody investing in our country anymore? I don't understand.
Dude, I was just listening to John Stossel today. He did a thing on taxes and where he was talking about AOC and her people paid 90% back in the day. And then there's this tax economics expert. He goes, no, he's like, you got about the same amount of tax revenue when you had a 90% tax rate as you have today. He goes, because the wealthy, they have the best accountants and lawyers to figure out loopholes. Yeah. So they would just write stuff down and they're not paying taxes. I'm like, I don't understand why these idiots in Washington that want higher. I'm like, why do you want to work for the government for free more? Like, do you know how to best spend your money, or does some bureaucrat sitting there going, I could buy a few more $1 million missiles to blow up a kid in Yemen that makes 80 cents a day.
Look, Obama staffers know how much milk I want to buy next month. And they're going to plan to produce exactly enough milk to meet my needs because they know my desires.
That's what I joked around about. Like, I'd much rather have Bill Gates have to pay less taxes and whatever money he's got left over from not paying those taxes, him put that into a good fucking charity and help out the world than it going to who knows where the fuck it's going, because we don't even really know.
Well, dude, I got a problem with Bill Gates. He's getting a little bit too much behind the World Health Organization. He's getting a little bit.
I was just using him as an example, but we're talking about people that are, tech geniuses and freaking wealthy,
I just don't get the envy. It's like, okay, most people's standards of living continue to improve. Like, people have air conditioning, people have refrigerators, people have all these nice amenities that nobody used to have. Who cares if some guy is rich across the country? Like, I have a pretty good life. I don't care. But everybody, they're like, oh, well, it's unequal. He has so much more wealth. Well, is your life really that much worse than his? Not really.
I'm in complete agreement. If I made $80,000 a year and I lived across the street from a guy who made $5 million a year and lived in a McMansion, I'd just be like, hey, I don't want that big house. That's a lot of upkeep. Good for him. That's all I think.
This is all I want. I just don't want to have to work. I don't care if I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I just don't want to have to work. I wanted to say, hey, I wake up one day and like, hey, fuck it, I'm going to the beach, or fucking I'm traveling. I mean, that's getting a little bit more on the expensive side, but just not having to work.
Bro, but I told you this before when we were joking about this shit. You're industrious and you'd figure out a job. You'd end up starting a company, even if it was only 20 to 30 hours a week that you did it. Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
No, I said I'm joking around. I'd go crazy if I'm not working, but I would like the option to work if I wanted to work.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do something. Like, I actually had a year and a half.
Henry Ford, who invented the 9-to-5?
Yeah, it was
communists.
It's Henry Ford.
I think there was a complex play of the unions because they introduced the 8 hours to work, 8 hours to play, 8 hours to sleep.
dude, I
They would
can't.
say that was the labor movements
8
of the
hours,
early
dude?
20th century that introduced that. I'm not sure. That could be bro history right there. It is bro history, but
I mean, hey, we're a personal finance channel, so I don't think anybody comes here to learn about.
It was more the Monday
Straight
through
life.
Friday, the 5-day work week. I think I'm getting at.
yeah, I mean, there's a whole work-life balance thing, but I really think there's this thing in America that happened where nobody wants to work hard for what they want. They just want everything fucking given to them. So, it's like, oh, I want to do
That's the
stand-up
problem.
I want to
I'm
do
gonna
stand-up comedy. Okay, well, do the work.
I'm gonna
Do
stop
the
you
work.
right there. Like, what? I'm sorry. What's your name again, dude?
Chris.
Chris, what you were saying before, you're just like you somebody going, oh, you know what? This person has a huge mansion. I want that too, or that should be distributed equally. It's just like, no, if you want that, then do what that person did to get there. Don't say that you can't. You just don't want to do it. You know,
I mean,
that
it's basic human envy. Like people,
But-
they're always, no matter how wealthy our society becomes, like we could all be trillionaires, in real dollars in the future. People are still going to be jealous if somebody has higher stats.
But most people see what people have. They don't know what they did in order to get there, and they don't understand that. So they just think, oh, this person has that, I should have that too, and they're not putting in what that person did in order to get there.
Yeah, it's also stereotypes about rich people because, like, whenever rich people are portrayed in the media, they're like these snobby elitists that inherited their money, and they're just complete dicks to people that are poor, which most millionaires.
Dude, what about all the people that win the fucking lottery and then they go bankrupt a couple of years later because they don't know how to? It's the same concept. You literally were just given a freaking golden opportunity by winning the lottery, and you still didn't even know how to handle your money, and you literally went broke.
Hey, that's 95% of America.
There's the story of the $8 million janitor. The guy was a janitor his entire life, and he lived extremely frugally, like to the point where a little bit too frugal for me, but his shirt would be held together by safety pins. Nobody knew how much money this guy died. And when the guy died in his 80s, he had $8 million. Never
somebody
made
that we used to work with. I swear to God, that was him. We swear to God, he drives like this Volvo that's beaten up, like from like 1942, and like it just be out in the parking lot, like rust bucket. And he was one of the seniors at our company, and like he wasn't married, he didn't have any kids, like. We're like, this guy's probably he's just sitting on millions. He's just waiting for one day. He's just gonna be like, all right, guys, I quit. I'm, retired for the rest of my life, and I'm moving to whatever, whatever.
Dude, if you give me $100 million, my daily driver would be a piece of crap car. And when people were like, no, why are you driving?
Well, dude, yes, if you got $100 million, you can at least buy one.
Dude, when Bezos was a billionaire, he was still driving a fucking Honda Accord.
Yeah, but if you're that rich, you can buy one nice car.
I would have one nice car, but that's why I said my daily driver would be like an $8,000 pickup. And when people look at me weird, I'd be like, if that motherfucker over there kicks a shopping cart into the side of that truck and scratches it, I don't care. If that's a Ferrari, I don't care if I have $100 million. I'm gonna be pissed. I might have to scrap in the parking lot over. Did you just really scratch my Ferrari? That's.
I know your.
I would have one nice pro modded where they put a muscle car. They put all modern technology in a muscle car, and it'd probably be a 67 GTO. And that would be my pimp car. And that thing would never get parked. I would just drive it, look at it, possibly have sex with it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, dude. One of my favorite cars that I owned were the ones I had growing up that were complete fucking rust buckets, dude. That were just whenever I had some like girls in the car, they're like, "Oh, it's the Hupty." I'm like, "Hell yeah, it's the Hupty." But like the fucking thing was.
What? Do you know what I drove for 5 years while I was in Arizona? I drove a 1996 GMC Sonoma that I picked up for $5,000 while everybody else,
I would love to have that car.
Growing their cash. It was an extended cab. I came back from Iraq. People are like, you can get a new vehicle. I'm like, no. And they're like, your mirror is held on by duct tape. I'm like, yeah, this thing's a fucking sick ride. I love this thing. It's a piece of
You know
crap.
you're a Chad when you have duct tape on your car.
Well, this is what happened. Me and my buddy Mo were going to watch Beowulf, and these
you
kids
weren't gonna watch the Three Stooges?
Yeah, Morrison, dude. He's falconing now up in Alabama. He's got a falcon and a YouTube channel. I forget the name of it, but we're going to watch that. He shows up at my apartment. Somebody knocks on my door. They go, dude, a bunch of teenagers went through and they broke a bunch of windows. And I'm sorry to say, they kicked the mirror off your car. I went out and looked at my car. I was like, fuck it. I'll duct tape it later. Let's go to the movie. I didn't care.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like, I have a Ford Fiesta that I paid off like 3 years ago, and I'm literally going to drive that thing until it explodes. Like, I'll go to Walmart and I'll park next to the carts, and if somebody dings my car, I don't give a crap. It's like the most beautiful, peaceful feeling you could ever have by not having to worry about your car.
Yeah.
I agree, man. There's something so that is. We talked about it. That is the one thing that I will 100% agree with Dave Ramsey on.
Oh,
the hoopty. The hoopty. I'm like, I'm in with him on that. I agree with him when he says you shouldn't even buy a new car till you have $1 million saved. I go, yeah, because a new car is a waste of fucking money.
Dude, I hate cars almost as much as I hate houses. But like, cars are definitely like the second most thing that I hate.
Yeah, but
because like
houses appreciate in value, but
with inflation. So I mean, like, houses are
houses.
I would say houses are still worse than cars because people, buy new houses a couple times.
This is the difference. People bend themselves over backwards more for a house than they would for a car.
Yeah, and they add stuff. And they like spend so much on maintenance and improvements. Like, it almost costs. Well, it's going to cost you more than a car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So people would literally create a life savings. Say they create, they save like $50,000 or whatever. We're in Florida, so that could be a decent down payment for a house on here. But they save up $50,000 and they just go and they put it all into a house as a down payment or whatever, and then that's it. Their savings is completely diminished. And now on top of that, they just created a liability for themselves, and now they're paying a month-to-month payment. And if they don't pay it, it's the fucking bank's house. So
people like to flop houses. They're like, every 5 years, I'm just going to get a bigger house once I get a raise. But then you have to sell.
You fucking pay the capital gain tax on that, and you're going to be fucking shitting your pants unless you save it, live in it for 2 years. But even then, it's just like it's the same thing. Then you're doing it again. Where most people look at investing in houses as using it themselves, and you're really not making. It's not a great investment when you're living it in yourself. It's a great investment when you're renting it out to somebody else.
Yes. See, you're a man after your own heart.
But that's the thing. It's paid for itself when you have it rented, right? And on top of that, if you get a property that you can fix up, that's zoned for multifamily, you could add an additional unit. You you rehab it. It automatically force appreciates it. You cash out, refinance that shit. You get your majority of your money back that you put down into it, and then you go and you put it into another house. So you'll own an extra house. So if you keep doing this along the way, you got all these properties that are paying for themselves because they're rented out, and you're getting this cash flow, and you're growing appreciation and value in all these houses. That's
I mean, theoretically that could work. I mean, like, I agree with that to an extent, but my big issue with real estate investing is that there's a potential to generate negative cash flow in the event that you underestimate the expenses of a property that you buy, or you underestimate.
That's the whole thing. You got to do your due diligence.
Yeah, but even then, like, you might be wrong. Which is like, to me, it's like, well, I could invest in the stock market and get an average of 10%, before inflation, or I could risk possibly having negative cash flow for a house or a rental property.
This is another thing when it comes down to it is with a stock, right? Say you want to own like IBM does cash flow. I mean, dividends, right? So say you want enough stocks with IBM in order for them to give you maybe $300 a month, all right, in dividends. That means you have to own all these stocks, and you have to be able to afford 100% of them, right? Where with real estate, you only need 20% of the actual property value. It's the bank's, you're getting a loan from the bank. So you got your money invested into a house that's going to be providing a cash flow. Think of that as your dividend, right? Where you only needed so much money to get invested into it. Yeah, of
You
course,
could call it a rental property, right?
Yeah, rental.
Because the house I'm buying isn't the way I looked at it. As I'm going to be in Florida for the foreseeable future, so I bought a house, and they kept trying to upsell me, and I'm like, listen, I don't want a house I can't afford, paid just with my disability from the VA. And
That's a life, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's
like what I mean by that is my mortgage with everything is going to be around $1,200 a month. So if I decided to retire or started making enough to do stand-up comedy, it's still like I got nothing to worry about. I can still pay no matter what, even if it's COVID 2025 and everything got shut down. It's like, oh man, I'm still fine. I still got money
for flu again by then.
Yeah, I still got money for guns.
Yeah, but just wait till airborne AIDS comes out, then you're dead.
See, that's the thing. You gotta be financially responsible and understand, like, all right, I'm not gonna go crazy and put all this money into the house that's really not gonna really appreciate it that much.
Well, dude,
what I was saying earlier with forced appreciation, it's adding an additional unit. That's definitely that's guaranteed to give you a better appreciation. But
you want to talk about frugality? I'll talk about frugality for 1 second. I went to the gun store on Saturday and only bought one gun.
If you had instead invested that in a index fund, in 30 years you could have had 4 times the amount of money. But instead you bought a gun.
$2,800.
No, dude, I'm just gonna. It's a civilian version of a firearm that both Chris and I got to fire, and I went for the budget one.
You need to get an AK-47 or an SKS. I actually have the SKS, which is a great weapon.
That you lost at a boating accident.
That I what?
That you lost at a boating accident.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't boat, but I just happened to be in a boat yesterday, and I thought it was a fishing rod, and I went like this, and then it just flew in the water, and that was it. It's gone.
Yeah, dude. I was like, well, I'm buying a house. I need something for home protection. Dude's like, well, what are you looking at?
You went to Costco, you got a lifetime supply of condoms.
Right? But I was like, I just looked at him and I'm like, I need a slice of Americana, bro. You know what I want. He just took me right over to that section.
Oh my God.
So I pick her up tomorrow.
Nice.
You're going to show up and the FBI is going to be waiting for you. They're going to cart you away.
Well, with the current administration, that's a possibility.
Well, it hasn't transitioned yet. There's still a chance that Trump will win.
You know what I would do if I was Trump to just bone Biden royally? The first thing I would do is legalize weed, just to watch Joe Biden try to walk that back on Inauguration Day, so that all these lefties are like, I thought he was super liberal. No, he wrote the worst of the drug war. Then I would pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden just to watch Biden try to recriminalize them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about that because he's not going to lose, okay? We're going to have Trump for another 4 years.
This is the thing. He thinks he's going to run again in 2024. If he knew he wasn't going to run again, I'm pretty sure he would literally do some, not the things that you're saying, but some fucking, he would leave some shit for the next guy. He's just that type of dude.
Yeah, but he's definitely, if he loses or like officially loses, he's going to run again in 2024.
Yeah, and that's Exactly.
Well, dude, do you understand the epic meltdown that I would love to see coming from the left if Trump won in 2024?
Dude, no, I want it to happen now. Like, I want them to, all the lawsuits to go through, and he somehow flips the states that went blue. And if he wins, just imagine that. It would be 10 times worse.
Did
than
they already
anything that happened
confirm
in
that?
2024.
Didn't they already confirm that Michigan and Georgia counts were good?
I don't know, but I mean, the ridiculous thing to say is that hey, there's no voter fraud. There's voter fraud in every election. Now the question is how much of it, you know. My personal thing is everything should be investigated to find the truth. And if the truth is Trump lost, I support him stepping down because that's the way it works. But if there was fuckery, that needs to be found out too. Because there's a lot of fuckery in the Democratic Party that just turned me off on how Biden got in there with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris
We wouldn't have this issue if we had quantum computers, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
Wouldn't have the issue if people didn't put all their faith in politicians to begin with.
What do you mean? Treat them like they're a fucking god? Oh no, we don't do that. Are you shitting me?
Dude,
Trump is kind of a god.
I'll be right back. I'm grabbing a beer. Sorry, I mean apple juice.
You can't drink on this channel. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Excuse me.
Well, everybody's going. John, did you go? All right, I'm gonna pause this.
What happened?
What's that, dude?
Oh, you guys left me.
No, dude, I had to go too. I figured I would. But see, this is also why I like doing the podcast with 3 people, because if one person's got to take a piss, you don't even have to interrupt the conversation. You just send the person just goes.
Yeah, except for we all just left the fucking screen right now.
Nobody's watching.
Actually, is there stats? How do we actually watch this?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Chris. I was gonna say, man, like this is something like I want to do frequently, where it's like end of the week, talk about the markets, talk about bullshit that's going on. Because I've talked to people like I've talked to some people about my podcast. They're like, well, what's your model for your podcast? Do you want it to be like Joe Rogan? And I go, no, Joe Rogan's Joe Rogan. I'm like, I want to have like 3 to 4 people on the podcast with a guest included, so that it's like the conversation's always going.
Yeah, for sure, man.
It's like people are weird, man. Everybody wants to do something that is already established. That is listening to this.
Just be yourself.
Dude, I was listening. Chris is flexing, but I was listening to this one financial YouTuber. He's like, I want my podcast to be Joe Rogan meets the financial world. And I'm like, all right, first off, you have nowhere near the amount of charisma that Rogan has. Second off, why don't you just be you? Why are you trying to emulate other people?
Who are we talking about? Strong man, personal
comfortable in his shoes, Jay. Come on.
I was talking about actually that Graham Stephan dude that does. Yeah, I love the look on your face when I said that guy's name. I love talking shit about other YouTubers, dude. You and I.
He's very feminine. He's very low energy.
Yeah, dude. If you and I ever like got like a popular, people wanted to watch us, You imagine how much controversy we would cause in the YouTube community by constantly just talking shit about these other morons that do financial videos?
Yeah, that's how you grow your channel. You cause drama. You talk shit. That's how you get big.
You know, there is one financial YouTuber who I don't think knows shit, but I like his channel because of his personality. I think I told you it's the Dream Green Show with Zeke, and he's just got this likable personality, and he's easy to listen to. I'm like, okay, what are you fucking saying? You're buying realty? Like, really, dude? Why? You know, I doubt he could even tell you
Got a
why
high
he's doing
dividend,
it.
bro.
Yeah, right.
Dude, the higher the dividend, the better the stock. If everybody knew that, everybody would be rich.
I know, right? Right?
I can't understand how like nobody seems to understand that dividends basically do nothing except make you pay taxes. Yes, if you have like a withdrawal strategy where you live off dividends, that's fine. But dividends literally it's not free money from the sky. It's just the company paying out some of its cash to you. So you're not actually gaining anything. But nobody freaking understands that.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. Like, I'll buy what I look for in a dividend paying stock. One of the reasons why Bank of New York is in my portfolio is solely because of me being sentimental. My favorite uncle died when I was in Iraq, and he left me about $4,000 worth of Bank of New York stock, 2008. I just leave it in there because it reminds me of him. And I do buy Bank of New York stock because I know the stock's personality. When it goes really far down, I'm like, okay, I'll pay for this because I know it usually gets to be about $55, and then that's its high point, and then I'll usually buy in the low 30s. But I agree with you about dividends. Like, to me, I mean, you're better off just ignoring the dividends and looking for a great company, and you're getting it at a really good price. You expect growth.
I mean, like the term dividend investing should be totally destroyed. Like, there's no reason to dividend invest. The only reason people dividend invest is because they think they're getting extra income from the sky, which they're not. It's just the company reducing its book value by paying out cash to the shareholder. And there's nothing wrong with like a company paying a dividend. Like, that's fine. But that you shouldn't be seeking stocks just because they pay dividends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's 100%. It's almost, and like in my portfolio, I have a few speculative plays that I spent no more than $500 on, and they pay a really high dividend. And I was like, I just want to see what this does over time. This is play money for me, anyways, because I don't even think 5% of my portfolio is in individual stocks.
Yeah, I have like maybe 2%. I'm too much of a chicken shit, man. Like, I can't do any of the Teslas or the Nikolas or Bitcoin. Like, it's just too hard for me to like really put my money in anything that is speculative or just has no fundamental rationality for why it's going up.
But the black belt move in investing is to just not lose money. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, X YouTuber got a 90% return in the past 2 years. And I'm like, dude, the game is 30 years from now.
Look at my Robinhood, bro.
Yeah.
See my games?
John, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm listening.
Oh, all right.
I
wanted to make sure we didn't cut you out of the conversation.
Oh, no, man. I'm listening through. I love dividends. But no, like, honestly, when you first start looking at stocks, you're like, oh, dividends. Oh, you get this. And then you start realizing, like, this doesn't even do shit unless you have fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's really not going to do anything. Like, so to me, yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's like, to think about it in real estate terms, the way that I look at it is like, say you buy a house that you buy it for $100,000. 40 years from now, it's going to be worth $110,000, but they give you $50 a month. Then there's a house that you can buy $100,000. You're renting it out to somebody, they're paying the mortgage, you make no profit. It's a straight we call it cancellation. Basically, you don't get any monthly payment coming into your pocket. But in 30 years, it's going to be worth $700,000. I'm going to go with the one that's going to be worth $700,000. What?
It's like this. They're like, okay, I listen to these YouTubers talk, and they'll say things like, I think I can get a 12% return, and like they give all these reasons. I go, I know I can get a 12% return. It's called a mid cap. It's called a mid cap index fund. And I didn't have to do shit for it. And then they come back with you. I actually believe this theory that index funds are going to be in for, there's going to be way too many baby boomers flooding the market with index funds coming up here soon in the next 10 years. And that the index fund market is going to crash, and people are going to be like, see, we told you need to be in individual stocks. And I'm going to be like, yeah, man, but this works for my time horizon perfectly, because now my money goes further and what goes down will come back, even if the market stagnates for 20 years like it did after the Great Depression.
Well, if people think that index funds are like these unique things that are separated from the market, they're not. I mean, they just literally track the freaking market. So if index funds are crashing, well, then the vast majority of stocks are also crashing as well.
Yeah.
And the stocks that people are buying are the stocks that are most weighted in the index funds. Like people are like, oh, why buy an index fund when I can just buy Apple or Facebook? Well, those are usually heavily represented in the index funds. So if the index fund crashes, your stupid individual stock is probably crashing too. They're all tied together.
Yeah. Well, why do you think a large portion of my money is actually in the Vanguard healthcare sector? Because it doesn't. Okay, I own the Vanguard total stock market, but it's all Apple. It's all Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. And if you look at my U.S. growth fund, it's Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. And I'm like, oh, I need to be somewhere where these guys aren't.
Yeah, they're hot garbage, man. And like QQQ, the ETF that a lot of people buy, half of that is in the top 6 stocks, the FANG stocks. Half of the freaking ETF.
Yep.
Now, if you're thinking about it, like maybe that's a little too concentrated in 6 freaking companies. Maybe I should buy something that's been, underappreciated or undervalued in the last 10 years. Like real estate, like small cap value, stuff like that, mid cap value.
Yeah, well, this also surprises people. Okay, about adjusted for inflation, total stock market 6 to 7% per year. REITs adjusted for inflation 11% a year, somewhere in that area. Okay, so if you go and you look at the returns since 2001 on Vanguard, the total stock market has returned about 6.5%, where the small cap, mid cap have returned 9%, and the REIT one has returned 9%. So I'm getting a 3, and that sounds about right if you counted in inflation. So I look at people and I'm like, which in order to really truly value a stock, you have a lot of work to do ahead of you. Why? I can just throw money at it for the most part and look for a few spectacular plays. And it's like Warren Buffett said, all you need is a few stocks that do extraordinarily well to become wealthy.
Yeah, but here's the thing with individual stocks. Like, people need to have like a deep understanding of finance and like discounting future cash flows or discounting net income. And most people have no idea what freaking present value or discounting cash flows is. So if you don't even know that basic concept, how the hell are you going to even possibly evaluate a stock? Like
I'm in index funds.
We'll go even easier than that. Most people don't know what a PE ratio is.
Physical education ratio. It's about how much time you spend.
It's
in gym. All right.
Dude, Nate's
I know
not
he's
going to
not.
be able to make it in tonight, so we can't talk him out of doing dumb shit. Remember Nate, John?
Oh, I remember Nate.
Nate.
Yeah, he
When that
Bad
crystal meth head fucking interrupted his set 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Dude, he
Who the hell?
he texted me today. He's like, I'm going hard in on Tesla. And I'm like, please don't. And he's like, what? I'm like, I'm doing a live stream tonight. And I knew Chris was going to be on here. So I was going to be like, Nate, you already know my opinion. Listen to the strong man on Tesla. And like, it's so overbought. The S&P 500 is driving it up because index funds have to buy it now. That's
But you know
why
what's funny? Like, it's kept going up. Like, even though we've been dumping on it, it does keep going up. It's hilarious,
Yeah.
but it's just so
But this is
stupid, you know. But it's
this
funny.
is something that Jay and I talked about like a couple months ago. It's like the market does not make sense right now. So as
Never.
much as our intuition is like, oh yeah, don't buy Tesla, we might be absolutely fucking wrong. And 3 months from now, it could be back up at fucking 1,500 again. You know.
Look, my
just
rule
don't
is
know.
always
Nothing
like make
makes
people
sense.
happy. I always say 5% of your portfolio. Don't do any leverage BS. Don't do any freaking options. If you want to do Bitcoin or whatever stupid stocks you want to buy, 5%, you have fun, and that tends to keep people happy instead of being like, oh,
better yet, I wouldn't even give a percentage. I would just say whatever money you're putting into individual stocks, don't expect to have it. Expect to lose it.
That's a smart way to say it to people. Like,
so the thing is, if you're right with losing 5% of your money, then go ahead. If you're right with losing 15% of your money, go ahead and fucking do it. If you're right with losing 90% of your money, whatever it is, it's just understand that you have the potential to lose. There's a higher risk with using doing individual stocks. So that's it.
What do you think would happen to Tesla if Elon Musk pulled a Kobe Bryant, died in a helicopter crash? Tesla would be over tomorrow. And that's a possibility, man.
If it crashed, I would probably buy it at that point.
You'd lose a lot of money.
Like, I'll take that Tesla stock now. Oh, you only want $80 for it? I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good company, but it's just insanely overbought. So, you know, if it crashed down like that, I would buy it, at least with 5% of my portfolio.
Yeah, but what's the really old saying? I forget who said it. I think it was Benjamin Graham that said it. The market can stay irrational a lot longer than you can stay solvent.
Well, that's if you're leveraged or you're shorting or something like that. Hey, do you guys see this? So apparently we got this. I've been negligent in my
somebody that want whose milk? Whose milk exactly? We want to know.
Obviously mine.
Gotta be strong, man. He's the most alpha of us.
That's because you're flexing before. That's why.
Yeah, that's why, dude. Showing off the muscles.
You know, it's crazy, but my channel is only watched by women. There's not a single man that watches my video.
Gerb, I don't know if that sounds like a woman's name, but you know.
Oh, we have somebody watching live right now. I'm gonna tell them to give us a message. Send.
So this is live on your YouTube, dude?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube right now.
What's your YouTube?
That's why I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you, don't say anything too crazy, you know, because I'm going to start live streaming to it. I'm going to have my buddy Derek.
I thought we were just on this third party thing. I didn't know we were on YouTube, dude. You should have told me that. I could have told everybody I'm famous. Let everybody know I'm on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Famous on my channel, you're famous.
Bro,
it's like being on television, but being on public access.
All right, here we go. Just
I like Canadian. This person. Canadian Bitcoin. Dude, yeah.
It's like regular Bitcoin, but it apologizes every time it goes down in price. Did it?
Or it asks you to pull its finger.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Hold on a second. Let me try something.
All right. What the fuck, man?
I didn't mean for that to go live. I'm sorry.
That's funny, dude. I love when people throw around that they just throw it around on Twitter. They're like, "You're a cuck, dude." I'm like, "Dude, I'm single. It's not possible for me to be a cuck."
Impossible. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I tried to put like the word "cuck" and it freaking like it censored it. Like I couldn't post the comments, so I had to space it out. That is hilarious.
I'm
John,
so offended right now. Yes.
Let me be narcissistic. What did you think of my set?
Your set? Oh, a couple of weeks ago, dude. There was a couple of jokes in there, dude. That fucking I was like the only one laughing because I think I told you this already. I think you're a little quick, and then like your humor, like you really got to be paying attention to. So there's like you got your certain people in the audience that are like keeping up with it, and then you got certain people in the audience that are just like having a beer or whatever the fuck they're drinking over there. And
what was it?
There was the
joke about my mom being a child pornographer because she's got a picture of me in a kiddie pool.
That was pretty fucking funny, but the ones that got me dying were when you're taking your hat on and off.
Oh, all right, yeah, okay. That usually goes over pretty well.
The abortion joke. YouTube, sorry.
Are you both comedians or just Jay?
What?
John's an aspiring comedian that won't grab his nutsack and get up on stage.
You know, I'm just gonna become a writer.
You're on stage. Oh, speaking of writing, boys, did you know that I just published a book about personal finance?
Oh, did you really?
Fucking plug.
And then I'm actually very pissed that you haven't bought it yet.
There's a plug going on right now for all your listeners.
I didn't know you published the book.
Yeah, actually, it goes live like December 1st, and I want you to guess what the name is.
Tesla. But don't buy Tesla.
Fuck Tesla. It's called "Stop Being a Broke Loser." Okay.
Did you co-write this with Donald Trump?
Did I what?
Co-write it with Donald Trump. You
think he writes?
Sorry, some of his writers. He has a couple of books. I mean, I don't know if it was him.
No, I actually watched a documentary about him on Netflix. He didn't write the Art of the Deal. That was somebody else. He just paid the guy to write the book for him.
Yeah. Yeah, you know,
and he did the book with Robert Kiyosaki.
What's up?
He did a book with Robert Kiyosaki, or however you pronounce his last name.
Oh, yeah.
That poor dad did.
Robert writes the books, I'm pretty sure, but
he does.
No, I don't think he writes the books.
But no, you're right, dude. I was thinking of doing like once I get my house, man, I'm gonna get some like okay cameras, and one of the first videos I want to do is how to fire, but I'm just gonna fucking make fun of it the whole time. I'm gonna be like, first thing you need to do is save as much money as possible and abandon consumerism. Second thing you need to do is abandon all scruples and start selling YouTubers. Start selling your fans on YouTube pointless courses that tell you to buy index funds.
No, look, the first thing you need to do is kill your family because they are the number one thing that is stopped.
Right?
Fucking YouTube cuts us off.
YouTube will cut us off right here. I don't think you heard my joke where I talk about watching the Chris Watts documentary, and I'm like, my joke up on stage is like, I didn't take it as a tragic documentary. I took it as the uplifting story of a dachshund hound who survives a family annihilation event. Because Chris Watts didn't kill his dog. Fuck you.
Was that a documentary? Like, I watched it. I don't remember a dog.
Yeah, he has a little dachshund hound in the background. If you go back and watch it when he's talking to the cops, his dog's there. And the impetus for that joke was a joke I had prior where I talk about a guy who wiped out his family and the family dog. And I'm like, I understand about the wife and kids. You come home, she's bitching at you about money. Kids won't do their homework or eat their vegetables. But the fucking dog, that's the only thing that would love you after you killed your family.
Are you still gonna feed me? That's all that dog's thinking about.
As long as you give him some, Chewy toys, doesn't matter what you do.
These are the best bones I've ever had.
No, but I was really honestly baffled by the dog. I'm like, what is this? All right, you're a psycho. I get it. But what was the reasoning behind the dog?
I mean, he probably couldn't catch it, to be honest.
It was a golden retriever, man.
Was it fat?
I don't know. I didn't look that far into it. I just wrote a joke.
They're catching your dog. They're not that
I'm just surprised you even noticed the dog at all. I was like, I was more worried about the children. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, dude.
I care about the children.
Well, there was the part of me that was watching documentary. I'd like to squeeze the life out of this guy's neck, but what am I going to do? It's probably not even an investor. So
he probably owns a lot of Tesla stock.
Chris Watts starts a YouTube channel from prison, starts talking about investing in Tesla. It's like, I invest in Tesla because I just think it's a quality product.
Dude, that's how you find success. You just murder your family and then talk about Tesla stock, and boom. You combine that notoriety with a popular subject, instant millionaire.
I gotta go piss on that note. I'll be right back.
All right, hurry up, John. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? So, what do you think is going to happen after the election? Is the stock market going to correct? Because, I mean, we've been in a 10-year bull run. Yes, I know much of that was facilitated by quantitative easing, but question is, with Biden's higher marginal tax rates and higher taxes on corporations, what do you think happens? Because I actually want the stock market to slow down because it's getting so expensive. Its PE ratio is like what, 22 or 23 right now?
Yeah, I mean, it in the last couple of years, it's always been expensive. But like in my personal opinion, the stock market always prices in all known information. So right now, I think it's priced in that the Republicans are going to keep the Senate. So there's not going to be all this, socialist legislation coming through and, increases in corporate tax rates and yada, yada, yada. But I think if, the Democrats somehow actually win the runoff in Georgia and they somehow take control of the Senate, I think that would cause a crash. Because I think right now it's priced in that the Republicans keep the Senate, which means nothing is going to change, which is good for the market because it likes stability and continuance and not a lot of new wrenches being thrown in. So I would look to January and see what happens with those Senate runoff elections or whatever's happening in Georgia to see or to kind of guess what's going to happen with the stock market, because that's the key thing.
Well, also something to factor in though is you talked about it on one of the episodes of your on your YouTube channel. Something to keep in mind though is Wall Street owns Joe Biden. So how much socialist crap do you really think is going to get pushed through anyways? I mean, I think that they would like it, but I just don't think the system would allow it.
I mean, it's not going to be a lot of stuff because the majority of the Democrats are not socialists, but the market is still priced in that if the Senate is Republican, nothing will change. But if Biden does throw some breadcrumbs and somehow the Senate does become Democrat, there might be a slight correction because then there's actually a higher probability that tax rates will increase, even by a little bit. That would still have some kind of impact on the expected future returns of all the stocks in the stock market. So, I mean, it wouldn't be this massive, catastrophic death crash. But if the Democrats somehow get the Senate, I think there would be a small dip in the stock market. Because he's talking about raising tax rates a little bit, and that still affects your returns over time.
Yeah. I mean, Even if it's just 1%, that's 1% less you have in your pocket. So no, I just it's selfish of me because I have such a long time horizon. I'm like, dude, I actually want like a crash in the stock market because March was great. My money was going so much further.
So I have $6,000 set aside, and I'm going to max my Roth on January 1st or whatever. And I hope the freaking market tanks like 90% in freaking on January 1st, 2021. Right where I invest my money.
January 19th. Isn't that Inauguration Day?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to tank on Inauguration Day. I mean, like, if he wins, it's already priced into the market.
There's always hopefulness when a new president comes in, anyways. You know, so
look,
I mean,
he's going to unite us. Okay, make the heart symbol. He's going to bring us together. Make the heart symbol.
Yeah. Right. He's going to bring us together by telling me what kind of firearms I can own. Like, yeah, I'm really behind that. Dude, I was at work today, and there's another Trump voter there, and I walked by her, and I leaned in, and I leaned in real close, and I voted for Donald Trump. And she goes, thank you for that. And we were both like, even where I work, she's a little bit, no.
Did you lick her ear a little bit? Like,
dude, but where I work, if I was to come out and say that, like, there was another guy who asked me, he goes, hey man, can I ask you who you voted for? And I'll go, I have a sneaking suspicion that we voted for the same person, dude. That was all I was willing to say. Because you can't even say it. And I'm like, Biden's objectively a bad choice, man. The dude's got fucking dementia.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just the way it is. And I think you're a federal employee, right?
I got hairy legs. Sorry.
Yeah. That's how it is. Like, I honestly, like, I'm finally at the point where I just don't care anymore. I don't care. So, like, I've been posting all this, like, you know, right-wing stuff on my Facebook and, you know, dumping on communists and socialists. I just don't care anymore. You know, because, like, are they really going to fire you from a federal job because you oppose communism or socialism? I don't think so. I think you're going to be okay.
Well, the thing about it is, as I explained to people want to talk about the government is this lockstep organization. And there's just varying people within the government, super liberal, center, right wing, independent. You know, everybody's just kind of going to work and doing their job. My thing is, I just don't want to argue about it because it's like, I accept your views, whatever you are, even if you're a communist in America. I'm just going to look at you and be like, I disagree because it never works. But I mean, that's your right in a free country.
If I actually met a real communist, I would have a good time with them. I wouldn't be nice. I would kind of like provoke them. Because I think communism is disgusting. Like, it pisses me off to think about somebody like confiscating all my stocks and all that. You know, it makes me angry. And I would love to.
I just don't have the energy to get really pissed at people because I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm writing jokes. But communism should piss you off because what it is your labor is appropriated by the state. What you built, your intellectual capital, what you built with your blood, sweat, and tears, that's the state's. That's some bureaucrat that it doesn't even have the faintest idea of what hard work went into what you did. Oh, that's the people's. And you know, I remind people, I would like to remind people of this kind of stuff. During Stalin's collectivist reforms, if your family was starving, the shake from the wheat that you grew on your property or where you were farming on the ground was considered property of the state. So when your son or daughter was over there starving, if you picked that up to eat them, they'd kill you. So that's your communism for you.
The issue with that is, like, I think a lot of people don't really care. You know, they're just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's different. I mean, I've concluded the only way to really debate these people is not even to debate them; it's just to kind of like shit on them,
It
because
doesn't go from 0 to that point, though. Sorry, it's not like all of a sudden it's just like, one day out of left field they're just like, oh, we decided shit's gonna be this way. It like gradually gets there, and that's what I think a lot of people ignore. I'm just leaving that.
Well, yeah, everybody says it can't happen here. It can. Every place that has communism, somebody said it can't happen here. And I mean, if you want to look at the difference between, this is what I say to like socialists and communists. I go, I want you to look at a map of the world lit up at night, and I want you to pay particular attention to the Korean Peninsula and ask yourself, which system do you wish to live under? I'm throwing in with the side with all the lights and the freedoming.
I mean, like in my personal opinion, I just don't see it happening in America because there's such a large core of people that hate communism, and they're mostly gun owners. It would be very hard to actually implement communism, because to implement communism, you have to like have this like massive rebellion that overthrows the government. But in America, most of the conservatives have the weapons. So I just don't see it happening. It can become more socialist, but there's never going to be a point where I think the government actually seizes the means of production and takes over every freaking business, you know?
I agree. I also say to people, you have to stay ever vigilant about the Second Amendment, because I look at people and I'm like, yeah, man, look at England. In the 1960s, they all had guns, and then they allowed a little bit of legislation to go too far, and then you can't even have a handgun, and now they want your knives. But the criminals, they don't care about that. They're stabbing people everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, in the Second Amendment, I mean, that's never going to go away either. I mean, like that is kind of the cornerstone of like protecting us against communism, is the Second Amendment. And I think if there's any fight to fight, that's the fight to fight. Because if we don't have guns, I mean, like, you can't do anything. You're screwed.
Yeah, well, what if the zombie apocalypse happens too? You're also screwed. It's like when somebody's like, "What do you need a semi-automatic rifle for?" I go, shooting things is fun. I'm like, acquisition of food in the form of hunting, zombie apocalypse, alien invasion, government goes tyrannical, in that order. That's why I need it. That's why I need an AR-15, dude.
That is the main reason I have a gun, is the zombie apocalypse. I'm very concerned about it.
Dude, that's a real threat. And it, like, how that ties into investing is that's what would happen if the stock market ever went to zero. We're in the zombie apocalypse.
No, dude, the stock market's a complete scam, okay? There's where it goes is every company in the world is going to completely go out of business all at once, okay? It's going to happen because it's all a rigged game by the rich. That's the stock market.
Dude, I told you about
I'm learning a lot today.
Dude, there's a woman at my work who I was talking to her. We were talking about investing. She has worked at the agency I work for 29 years. She only has a high school education. She is a janitor. And when she retires in 4 or 5 years, she's going to be a millionaire. Just by
November.
Huh?
Does your agency begin with a November?
No.
It doesn't? Damn.
No. Victor.
Victor.
We take care of you.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was trying to figure out where you worked. I got excited because I thought you might have worked for my agency, but you're actually beneath me. So
I am. But she's going to retire a millionaire. She told me, like, just using her Roth IRA and the TSP.
Yeah, but how old is she?
58 right now.
Yeah, I see. I just don't want to retire when I'm in my 60s.
Well, that's why you got to start a YouTube channel, build up followers, and then sell the course on investing, on firing.
Sorry, yeah, y'all broke up a little bit. Did I miss something? We're talking about
I don't
fire
know.
now.
No, John.
Are we ever really talking about anything?
John said that he doesn't want to retire at 58, and I said that's why you got to start a YouTube channel, build up a fan
I want to
base.
retire at 79, dude. Come on, dude. Like,
all right, D's nuts. I want you to tell me your retirement plan. What is your goal?
Plan is to.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take
Actually, I'm gonna go piss too. Then when we come back, we're gonna talk.
I'll talk to myself. I'll keep the YouTube listeners. How many people we got listening right now? I'll keep them entertained.
Sing the Star Spangled Banner, okay?
Yeah, who's here? Put something in the chat if anyone's listening. All right, awesome. I just guess I'll sit here in silence.
John, you still there?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So
put something in the chat. No one did. So
I don't even know. Like, I mean, people probably tuned in and then they were like, "These dudes are just getting drunk and saying ridiculous shit."
You're not wrong. There is a 1 thumbs up on this, though. It was probably Jerb or whoever that was.
Dude, we have a thumbs up.
Yeah, 1 thumbs up.
Dude, that's exciting.
That's half of Roger Ebert. But
yeah, John, what's your retirement? What's your fire plan?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I still got to figure that out. That's the reason why I'm still working.
All right, so we need to start and figure out what is your.
I'm gonna put all my money. No, sorry, hold on. Let me finish this up. I'm going to put all my money in Tesla stock and Bitcoin and just fucking throw a Hail Mary. And that's really it. I hope by 2140 I'll be able to retire.
2140?
Yeah, man, that's not unreasonable, right?
You're gonna be dead, dude. I hate to break
quantum computing is gonna be out, and that Moderna fucking vaccine might give me immortality.
Superpowers.
You never know, dude.
Who are you? Are you a veteran? Are you a hero?
Hero.
No. How him and I became friends was at the University of South Florida. He was actually the teaching assistant in statistics, and then I kept going.
You're revealing too much information now, Jay. Too much.
Did you guys have a private study session together?
Oh, it was private.
Dude, right. You want to know something lame? This one guy that worked there, John and I would hang out outside of there. We were friends with this other dude named Charles Oz, and he's actually used to be a competition shooter. But this one guy got into it with John, and to piss him off, he pissed John off. He'd go, "Yeah, no, me and Jay are friends. We talk about MMA." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "You're a 38-year-old man, and you're trying to fucking use me as leverage against another guy." I was like, "What is going on here?"
Using trying to get it fired.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a whole disaster. But
yeah. John and I'd be talking casually, and we'd talk about stand-up comedy and shit. And then I'd leave the room and he'd be like, "No, Jay's my friend. We talk about mixed martial arts together." The dude had some weird form of autism.
Like he would say, "Jay is my friend." literally in
Dude,
quotes.
it was what I forgot. I told Jay what happened, the scenario. It was fucking, what, 6 years ago. So I can't even tell you exactly what happened. But it was something along the lines of it just came out of left field randomly because, Jay and I were having a conversation and he left and he's just like, he's my friend. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm friends with him too. I'm like, all right. Like, thanks for sharing.
That is like elementary school.
He's
What?
my friend.
That's like elementary school.
The dude was like 14 years older than me. It was just really bizarre,
He's
And
literally
the only
was the
person that
same.
was really close with him there was somebody that was 19 years old, and it was like they were like
Yeah.
BFFs. And it was just, it was just, dude. When it comes down to it,
We need to invite him on the podcast.
Trust me, you don't
the
want
second
to.
that I didn't have to work with that dude ever
conversation
again,
with
I never responded to any fucking text or fucking LinkedIn request or anything. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm done with this dude.
Dude, he's gonna be your boss one day.
Dude, that's never gonna happen.
He's gonna be the
I'll
head
kill myself before that happens.
Well, he was majoring in finance too, and he wanted to go work for Goldman Sachs. And I'm like, yeah, you can count me out of those 100-hour weeks working for Goldman Sachs. I'm good on all that.
Yeah.
God. Why? And they probably get paid crap when you actually factor in the amount of hours you work.
Yeah, you're getting paid like less than minimum wage at that point.
Well,
Dude,
dude,
That was
after
half
being in the
the
military, I'm done with that. I'm never working 100 hours a week again.
dude, one of my really I've been friends with this guy since grade school. We live in the same apartment complex over here in Clearwater, and he told me before he got a raise at his job, he worked at Bed Bath and Beyond with guys who worked at Raymond James. So when people talk about the high flying world of finance, I was like, I would talk to these guys in school about majoring in finance, and they're like, "Why did you major in finance?" I go, "Because it's something that interests me." You? They go, "Well, I want to go work for X firm." Me? You don't have the connections. You're not going to get in there.
But I mean, also the reality, they work for Raymond James and they're working at Bed Bath and Beyond. You get to a point, and I've even contemplated this, contemplated this, where like sometimes you fucking so mentally drained at the end of the fucking week or being on call or whatever it is, you're just like, oh my God, I'm just constantly stressed out about like shit that even when I'm not working, I'm like thinking about, I got to deal with this the next day or whatever. Where it's just like when you got a job at Bed Bath and Beyond, you don't take that home, and you get to a point where like, how much money is it really worth at that?
Yeah, well, I would
when
say
all your time, because
more
your number one asset when it comes down to it is time.
Yeah.
That's your number one. That you only have a finite amount of that on this earth. That's all you got is time. So what does it matter if you're making all this money if you're just literally fucking you don't have any time to use it, or
well, yeah,
you
you
buy a
want
whole
to
bunch
be
of shit
highly
that doesn't even matter.
compensated for your time. So you for every hour worked, you want to make a lot of money. So you want to find a skill where you can work 40 hours a week and make $50 an hour, and that's it. But like working at Bed Bath and Beyond, making what, I don't know, $12 an hour, that's not worth my time. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I'd rather have another skill and do something that pays me more, but I still only work 40 hours a week.
All right, maybe that's a little exaggerated, but there's jobs, if you think about it, there's certain jobs where it was like, whether if you're working in a restaurant, I did a lot of fucking restaurants growing up. It's just like you're shooting the shit, you're socializing, you're talking to people. There's something satisfying with that, where at the end of the day, I had good conversation. I had some fucking jokes with some of my other coworkers, my buddies and shit like that. After that, we went and had drinks, and I go do it all again tomorrow, where compared to, I'm sitting in front of a fucking computer screen making this company millions of fucking dollars, and yeah, I get paid this decent amount, but also I'm on call any second, or I'm working from 7 to 7 if there's a fire that happens or some shit.
I mean, but there's jobs that will pay you a lot of money, but you can still work with other people your age and that have similar interests. So like, it's not just like, oh, I need to, not make crap and work at Bed Bath and Beyond,
Yeah,
or I work 100
no,
hours a week.
I get you, but there's a lot of like that finance job. You think that you're, I mean, depending on the position, like you think that you're collaborating the whole day with other people, or you're emailing people and you're communicating through a computer screen.
Well, I mean, it depends where. I mean, right now we're all teleworking, but I work in the accounting sector, and I at work, I would do my work, and then if I was done, I would go shoot the shit with my coworkers that were right next to me. So it wasn't like I was completely cut off from socialization.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not completely cut off, but-
also, like your coworkers, no matter what you do, are going to are going to affect your life. You spend 40 hours a week with these people, and if you could say it's a monotonous job, whatever it is, but if the people you work with are funny and interesting, you're going to have a good time there. And you could have a job, what should be the funnest job in the world. You see professional athletes who get paid millions of dollars to play a sport, and they basically have a mental breakdown because all their teammates suck, and it's just the environment that they're in. They work with assholes. So, I mean, there's some of that, but Chris is 100% right. You want to get paid the maximum amount for the hour that you work. And like I told you last time when we had our first podcast together, I was like, if I had to do it back over again, I wouldn't have majored in finance. I would have majored in accounting. Accounting is a skill, man. It's accounting is as much a skill as learning to be a mason. It's just you own your own labor. In finance, you don't own your own labor.
I hate
That's
finance.
really just the truth. Huh?
Well, so I hate finance because it's more of sales than it is anything else. Like you're not
100%.
going to crush your numbers. But yeah, accounting, there's so much like diversity. Like you can be a freaking tax accountant and auditing accountant. You can work for the federal government, which I do. You can work for a big corporation doing their freaking books. And the whole time you're going to be working with a team of people that have similar interests to you.
Yeah. Like I said,
you've talked about coworkers in general, though. Like, think about the people that you're working with, the conversations that you have, the time, the shit that you do in the office compared to, when you're working in less of a professional environment, I guess.
No, I agree, but if you're a group of accountants, because it's a skill, I'm pretty sure, because I know a lot of accountants, they say wrong shit. One of my before I work where I work, I'm not going to say, but I knew this guy who would sell this stuff that wasn't quite on the up and up, and he was majoring in accounting, getting his master's degree in taxes.
I guess what.
So I know him really well. So I can only imagine working with him would have been fun, because it would have been me and him just saying inappropriate shit to each other for the whole time we're at work.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll give you another example right now. Even in that type of situation, there's a guy I work with, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but he's a nice guy, but he's got a lot of problems. And he tries to talk to me, and he tries to be friendly. Definitely not, dude. This guy doesn't have his shit together. And he tries to be friends with me, and I just look at him and I'm like, I don't want to be friends with you because you're weak. You're mentally weak. That's why I don't want to be friends. He's a vet, and he had a lot of problems, but he's done a lot of stupid shit at work. And I look at him and I'm like if he actually sat me down and asked me why I don't really like him, I would be like, because you don't work. You don't work hard enough. That's why I don't like you. Like, so, I mean, you can find that in what would be a traditionally blue collar setting too. I'm waiting for a
Yeah.
response.
Oh yeah, no, you had me at hello. No, I was just shooting the shit. I mean, like fucking. I just sometimes what I'm getting at. I think the biggest thing was just like the fucking there's way more horsing around type of bullshit at some of the jobs that you like. Yeah, you fucking got paid less, but you're just like, oh shit, I had fucking fun, a lot more fun. It wasn't as stressful. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, you're getting paid, you're getting compensated for your time, but you're also getting compensated for the higher for the more stressful jobs. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh,
Here's
Yeah.
the thing: you want a job where you're highly specialized, but you don't necessarily need to be a leader. Like if you're good at computer science or whatever, you can make a lot of money and not be a leader. Or if you
Yeah.
work in accounting, you don't have to be a freaking leader. You can still make pretty good money because it's like a specialized skill without actually being in charge of an organization.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to make even more money, then you can choose to get promoted, but you don't have to. And you can actually live, like a decent life without having to manage anybody.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's half the reason why I left
I
my
went.
job.
What'd you say, John? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I said half the reason why I left my last job was because of
Oh
ended
yeah,
up
I
in a
remember.
managerial
They
position.
wanted
I was
you to
like,
be a
oh fuck
boss.
this shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You left
go ahead, John.
What? Nah.
What? Tell them why you left your job.
Oh, I was in fucking meetings 24/7. It was literally just meeting after meeting. I had fucking reports on all these different teams. It was just between that, I mean, the direction of the company, to me, it was going downhill. It was fucking bought by private equity and fucking laid off a whole bunch of people, and they just didn't understand the qualitative attributes of some of the people that worked there. They just looked at fucking figures. But in general, like my day to day was meeting after boring meeting after boring meeting after boring meeting, and it took away from what I got into the business in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand that because like I was an officer when I was in the army, and it's the same thing. Like you get to play around with the guys when you're a junior officer, and then once you move up, you're in like staff meetings, and you're more of a planner, and you're more of a grand leader, which it sucked, and I understand that, and that's why I was like, screw that. I don't want to be a freaking mega manager. I want to be somebody that's highly specialized.
Yeah, and I even said that before I got the position. I was kind of like I kind of was like strong-willed. Like the deadline to put in your resume was a Friday, and after work we had like a team bonding event or whatever. So we all went out and we're all hanging out, and my boss pulls me aside, his boss pulls me aside, and the VP of the company, and they're all like chatting me, and they're like, "We didn't get your resume." I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "We're extending the deadline until Monday. You expect to see your resume." I'm like, "All right, well, I guess I gotta fucking apply for this job," you know. So like I knew like going into it, it's just like this isn't what I want to do, but it's like at the same time, like I'm not gonna have a future in this company if I don't do that. So
Yeah, I mean, like
anyways,
sometimes you have to do BS like that, but I mean,
yeah.
the way I see things like that is you take that time. It's a way to confirm whether you actually like that kind of job or not. Number one, and number two, if you're getting paid more, it's an opportunity to save more money to invest for your future to help you
Mhm.
actually attain the future that you want. I mean, because like I hated being in the freaking military as an officer, but it helped set me up.
But there's also there's a bell curve, you know.
Well,
For,
I
Oh
told
no,
you know,
I understand that too.
speaking
I
about
told
statistics, there's a bell curve.
All right,
I told
you know more than me about that.
Chris, I told you, man, you're really what you were is you're an enlisted guy that ended up as an officer. It's really what you are. Is it, like when we first started talking, I was like, oh, this is a dude I would drink with in the fucking dorms when I was in the Air Force. We'd be getting drunk together and fucking
Here's the
doing
thing.
crazy shit. Like,
I like hanging with the guys, but I like making money.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Is that why you started
I
this
get it.
podcast? This live stream?
Yeah. That's why I started my podcast, is for all the mad loot I get paid on fucking SoundCloud with my 700 subscribers, of which 650 are fake.
So,
what? Go ahead.
Just describe this podcast thing to me, because like I do YouTube and like Twitter and Facebook, and that's it. So like, how does a podcast thing work?
Okay. So what I'm using is free software, Audacity. It's what I'm recording this on. Now, what I do is I just get drunk and rant into a microphone, and then I put my rants on SoundCloud, and now I put them on my YouTube channel. So you could just go to SoundCloud. In that way, you get that. John, what's it called again? What was the number you needed?
What, the RSS feed?
Yeah, the RSS feed. You can use the RSS feed from SoundCloud, and then you can put your podcast on Apple iTunes. I didn't even know about this, but this guy who was part of the stand-up thing that I go to on Sundays, he told me he listened to my shit on iTunes, and I had like 200 listens on one of my podcasts. I don't know how that's possible, but
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, 200, like, I mean, like for, a scrub YouTuber like me, if I saw 200 on a video, I'd be like, damn. I've got like 3 videos that have over 200 people listening to it.
Bro, I get excited when I get a comment, and I get excited when on SoundCloud I see 15 listens. I'm like, 15 people listen to me. But there is like, I did a rant about how the media is so desperate for just stupid news that they literally covered this woman talking about how Ivanka Trump is stuck up because in high school she used to fart and blame other people. So I did a podcast.
Oh,
where I was
stuck
like,
up. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, but I did a podcast where I was like, this is a total alpha move. I wouldn't expect anything less from her. And I'm like, and then I'm talking into
I'm not going to lie. I've done that before.
No, everybody does it, and it's a total alpha move. And it's like the more you try to deny, like when I say, John, that's fucking disgusting, and I'm the one that farted, and you try to keep coming at me, the more beta you look. Because everybody's like, yeah, we know he did it, but he's blaming you. And I was like, I even did a rant about, I'm like, I'd vote for a third term for Barack Obama if he literally was in a UN meeting, farted, and got up and said, well, it looks like the dinner's not appealing to Mr. Vladimir Putin. Total alpha move in that situation. He took control of the meeting.
Yeah, but could you see Obama doing alpha moves?
No, not at all.
He didn't really give me the alpha male vibe. He's more the classy, like, gentleman,
I think he has a strategic way about it, though. Like, if he's going to.
Politician.
Yeah.
He's a politician. Like, he's the type of dude who walks up to me.
He's a samurai with his words.
He is. But you have to understand that, like, I know what meant, even though I don't communicate as articulately as Barack Obama, I know what mental moves you're trying to pull on me, and it infuriates me that you're trying to do it. And it's like, look, man, you're not going to lie to my face and convince me that you're anything other than a politician and a bought and paid for one at the same time. Oh, I'm a man of peace. Really? You bombed Libya into a failed state with slave auctions for no reason.
Dude, that's why, like, I just don't give a crap about politics. As long as you don't take all of my money, I don't care. I mean, like, Trump was exciting, and, like, he's hilarious, and that's why I like him. But overall, like, I don't give a crap about politics because it's so fake and oily, and it's just a bunch of.
I just Facebooked a friend back home. He's a really liberal guy. I think I might have told John about him, but he said to me one day when we were arguing about gun control, and I told him there's no such thing as assault rifles, and the bar was quiet. He looks at me and he goes, "Then what does the AR and AR-15 stand for?" I go, "Armalite rifle."
Yeah.
But I Facebooked him. I'm like, he's talking about Trump. I'm like, bro, you're 32 years old and you're going to give yourself an aneurysm. Orange bad man lost. Senile man is in. Dude, I'm like, life's a journey and you're going to die at the end of it. Try not to think about the politics, man. I don't understand these people that drive themselves nuts with the shit.
Because I noticed that nothing changes. Like, it doesn't matter who's in charge.
Oh, you are so privileged to say something like that. Come on, dude. Really?
No. Nothing changed. Nobody gets more money. Nobody moves up in life. Nothing happens. It's just same freaking thing.
Well, no. I say to people, I'm like, listen, this is what's going to happen the day after Inauguration Day, which it's not even important enough for me to memorize the date that it is in January. You're going to wake up, you're going to look over, you're going to still be married to the same person, whether you love that person or you hate that person. You're going to get up and you're going to go to the same fucking job, whether you loved it, you love your job, or you hate it. Your life is not really going to change that much.
Hey, as long as you don't try to steal my stocks, I don't care what you do. You know, because in the long run, people that save and invest are always going to win. Even if they try to increase tax rates or, shame you or whatever. If you're a person that saves instead of consuming and spending and you invest, you're always going to get ahead and you're always going to build wealth exponentially. That's always going to be the case.
Bro, I have laid out for my next year all of my wants. Do you know how much money it is? $3,500. One of which is a necessity, and that's a really nice bed for the first time in my life in my house.
You need a bed.
You need a good bed. That's what I'm getting, bro. I'm getting that. But it's like all of my frivolous wants actually boil down to $1,500 for the next year. I'm going to save my entire paycheck from Delta Oscar Victor Alpha. I'm going to save that entire paycheck. And like, I thought about doing it on my channel where I'm like, I'm going to save my entire paycheck this year, and I'm going to let you guys watch me do it. I'm going to put down anything frivolous that I buy, but this is the goal, and I'm going to show you how much damage this kind of money will do over time.
Oh, man. Like, if I saved my entire paycheck, I would be loaded. I have a mortgage and all this BS, but if I could save the entire paycheck, I'd probably retire in, I would say, 10 years at the most.
Dude,
that's how
I'm going to live below my means, meaning I'm going to live below my VA disability money. So I'm not buying anything. Like, I don't, dude, this is the thing that I really fucking realized. It took me till I was in my late 30s, early 40s to realize consumerism is an empty path. Most of the stuff in my life that means the most to me are one of the things I love is that fucking stuffed turtle over there. I wanted at a fair in Germany. And I've had numerous girlfriends try to steal my turtle. And I'm like, y'all can fuck off with that. You're not getting sea turtle. Sea turtle cost me almost $0, and it's one of my most prized possessions.
It's my heart.
It's like, yeah, right? I'm like, I told you last time, I still wear a field jacket my mom got me when I was 16. My coats. This field jacket my mom got me when I was 16 because I'm right under the AC, so sometimes it gets cold when I'm doing my podcast. I'll throw it on. And my pea coat, my dad bought me when I was 21. Still have them. That's what I wear in the winter. Have no desire for anything more. I'm like, it's just ultimately the things that mean the most for you in life are going to come from gifts and accomplishments.
Yes. Like I have, so I have a wife, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get her something nice. So we actually got her like a very nice coat today.
Yeah.
And I was more happy to like get her something because I literally have nothing that I want. Like there's nothing that I like desire. All I want to do is like, achieve objectives like publish a book or build my YouTube. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about, oh my God, I need the next iPad that's a piece of shit or the next computer. It doesn't matter. That's not what that's not what makes me happy. What makes me happy is accomplishment.
Dude, bro, I wish I learned that when I was your age or before, but it's the truth. You get more joy out of making somebody else happy than some fucking product you go and buy at I need the latest iPhone 2000. You know what? Let me get my wife something really nice that she's wanted for a while, and I'll sacrifice to do it. You'll ultimately get more happiness out of that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I could just drink.
That's what Santa was all about, right?
What'd you say, dude?
So that's what Santa was all about, right?
Yeah, but
Santa's
not
real.
It's somehow.
He's not real.
I have a fucking talk to have with my parents, man.
I'm sorry, he's nuts. But it's not real.
Mr. and Mrs. Nuts, have a seat.
30 years old, he's just learning Santa's not real. But it's like, dude, it really is. It's a weird thing that the dude who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People hijacked our hunter-gatherer genes into desiring the next latest, greatest piece of shit product that somebody puts out. And I wouldn't have it any other way because I can profit from it because I really just don't want shit. I still wear t-shirts with holes in them.
It's hard because if everybody listened to us, they would abandon consumerism and like save money and invest. But if everybody did that, how would our companies that we invest in profit? They wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
So, I mean, we can teach certain people to learn how to frickin' invest. But if we taught everybody, then we'd actually screw everybody over because everybody would not profit because nobody's buying anything anymore. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like, how many people do I enlighten?
Well, it was, dude, wasn't it your video recently? I don't know. Shit blends together for me. But where you're talking about like a minimalist buys 4 plates and a consumerist buys a fucking kitchen full of bullshit they're never going to use.
Yeah, that was like 3 days ago.
Yeah, dude. But you hit about like a complete truism there. I own 2 plates in my apartment.
I mean, dude, I have the same freaking plates for the last 10 years. And I bang them against the the kitchen sink or whatever. I don't give a crap.
When you say bang them, do you mean like just like smack them to break them just because like it's the new year or some shit, or you mean like you just like drop them? Are you breaking dishes purposely? Is what I'm getting at.
No, that would cost me money, and if it costs me money, I'm not going to do it.
All right, I'm making sure you're not defeating the point of the discussion.
Bro, I got this sweet sweatshirt, and like everywhere I go, this is the most hilarious thing to me. Every time I wear it out when it gets cold, somebody will look at me and they'll go, "Hey, dude, that's a really nice sweatshirt. Where'd you get it?" And I go, "I got it for $3 at a Salvation Army." I'm like, "I literally paid $3 for this." They're like, "Oh, it's really nice." I'm like, "Yeah, go get your clothes from the Salvation Army. They got a lot of really nice shit."
I want to know what I did today. I'm going to confess something. So I went to this nice downtown. And it's a college town, and everybody dresses nice, and they have their preppy clothes, because they're very rich. I fucking wore these old ass like workout shorts that I've run in like 20,000 times with a broken zipper. I had workout shorts, a 10-year-old pair of underwear, a workout shirt, and a shitty sweater. And I went down there, and I was the only guy in workout shorts in the entire freaking town. And I didn't give a crap.
Cold up there right now, dude.
It's really
That's
not.
why.
It's not that. I'm in Virginia. It's not that cold up here. But like still, like everybody was like all properly dressed, and the girls in their like tight jeans and stuff, and the guys in their slacks. And here I was in the freaking workout shorts. I didn't care. I just don't care.
I'll share a truism of fashion right here. I could literally wear a scally cap like I'm wearing now, throw on a pea coat, wear a black t-shirt, wear a pair of jeans, and then a pair of these boots.
Nazi boots.
And well, they were my favorite. I love those boots. I got in trouble so many times for wearing them in the Air Force because they weren't steel-toed. They'd be like, Airman Naugy, how many times do we have to tell you to stop wearing clothes out of rags? I'm like, I don't know, about another 50 times. But yeah, like I'm going to give a fuck. But no, I could literally just throw that outfit on, and no matter what time you take my picture in, I'm in fashion. Well, all these motherfuckers wasted their money on the current slacks or whatever. I'm like, you'll look dated. I won't look dated in that peacoat. And I paid $89 for it, and I've been wearing it for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, like I've never been a guy that's been fashionable. Like I just don't give a shit about the most recent fashion trends. I take clothes that I'm given for free, and I wear them as long as I possibly can, and that's all I do. It's that easy.
Well, recently, and this goes against what I was preaching, anti-consumerism, but I had to make a point by this. I recently found out that Hawaiian shirts were canceled because of their association with the Boogaloo Boys or whatever it is. So people don't want you to wear a Hawaiian shirt now. So I went and ordered myself a sweet official Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt that I wear to do stand-up comedy now. Because all the shit you cancel, I'm going to do.
See, I would have one, but I'd have to pay money to buy that shirt.
No, I get it. I get it, dude. I get it. Sometimes you got to splurge. John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm getting tired.
Stop being a little bitch.
Saw that turkey. Saw those leftovers, bro.
I got to take a piss. You guys talk.
All right. I'm going to go
twice. You're playing with it.
When we get back, though, I do want to talk about your do you actually have a fire plan? Like, do you want to retire early?
Like a retirement plan? No,
yeah.
I don't have like a fucking projected date or anything like that. I just know that I'm making whatever investments right now. I'm not going to do the typical just middle class bullshit where, oh, this is how much money I make and I'm going to spend all of it each month. I'm investing a lot of my my paycheck just for whether it's up front, putting it in my 401k, putting it in my Roth, and just whatever I can do. So
yeah, I mean, if you want to stay on, we can talk about it. But if you're tired, you can head out.
No, I'll stay on for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
But yeah, I'm excited. I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that just learning right now. So.
Well, dude, we'll talk about it. Yeah,
what?
Go take this, dude. We'll talk about it.
I'll be back. You guys start.
Yeah. Well, dude, you're actually on the fire path right now. It's just not as rapid as you want it to be. But I mean, with the money you're making now, you can stack so much cash, bro. You need to be in operation, stack that cash. And you can still live a really good lifestyle where you're like, you know what? I was pretty good about saving this month. I want to go do this.
Yeah. I got to get out of that habit, dude. I just, my whole life, it's always just been like, oh, like, just save. Don't, be frugal with your money, essentially. But like at least I'm what?
To stay on the path of frugality, you have to reward yourself. You can't just be all there is. Saving the money is its own reward, but there's also something to be said for doing something frivolous and stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, when it really comes down to it, is I just don't want to. I guess I've seen, like, whether it's my parents or just other people where they just retire and they they don't have much or whatever, or they had to work till they're 60 something years old, or they got to even work even more than that. I just don't want that. I don't even care if I take 10 years off that, where I can retire when I'm in my 50s.
Retiring in your 50s is a good thing, man. Most people can't take that 10 to 15 year hit where they're not working. I mean, if you can retire if you're a person and you're in good shape and you're retiring in your 50s, the world is your oyster. You're still young enough to go travel, see the world.
Yeah, there's a big
hobbies.
difference between being 50 and being 60, man. There's a huge difference.
There is. But I mean, there's also the practicality of the fact that we have to accept sometimes that we got to do shit we don't want to do.
Oh, yeah. You got to do shit you don't want to do in order to do the things that you want to do. It's funny. I joked around about certain things about tonight, and it's just like, for people that don't know me, I automatically come off like a, somebody that doesn't want to work. I'm like, no, it's complete opposite. I've worked my whole fucking life, And
well, no, I know
that. I worked hard my whole fucking life, and it's all for an end game. It's all for a fucking, so I don't have to. I'm investing my time now so that I can enjoy myself even more later.
You know what might help you, and I have to do this too, is you might need to write a mission statement.
No. Oh, he's gonna flex again. Oh shit! He's breaking the internet.
Big dude, he's fucking showing them fucking guns. But no, dude, it might be really helpful to write a mission statement. Because I mean, if I was honestly in my video where I go, let's fire, I'm going to explain how to actually do it and what realistic goals are. But the first thing you need to do if you want to fire is you got to write a mission statement. What's your mission? You should be, I really believe as I've gotten older, you should be writing a mission statement on anything that you want to accomplish. Like, I need to write mine out, and one of the goals is my own clothing company. I told Chris about it, and it's for the military members that weren't quite operational. We weren't out there shooting Bin Laden in the face. We were back drinking coffee behind the wire. But I mean,
same benefits, no combat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's dude. You need to fucking that. Like, honestly, if I made my company Inside the Wire, if there was a veteran and he thought up an interesting thing to say, and teach, I'm like, you fucking sell it on my site, man. All that money's yours. Like, Inside the Wire, same pay, none of the consequences. But I really think if you want to fire, dude, you got to write out in detail what the mission is and how to get there.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I mean, what is your actual fire goal? To retire by 55?
Yeah, at least.
Well, with the money I know that you make, you could save $40,000 a year and live comfortably.
Yeah. Come on, man. Taxes, dude.
I still think you could do it. If it what you told me your compensation was, I think you could save 40,000. I think you could save at least 30,000.
Yeah, I think 30 may be more realistic, but even so.
Why don't we do
a
a
thing?
thing? Why don't we do a thing where we do? Why don't we do a thing where we do on YouTube a competition? Who saves the biggest percentage of their income? The reward is who saved the biggest percentage of their income. We don't even need to even do our incomes on air. We can just be like, we all know what each other makes. This is what we're fucking doing.
Dude, I'm married. There's no way I would possibly save as much as you guys, even a percentage.
You find me just eating fucking packs of tuna in my boxers. Yeah. Like, how you guys doing? John, you got a girlfriend. I'm a single dude, but I'm just beating up the weird shit.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, dude, I gotta take the girl out. And I'm like, have you tried beating off the weird shit on the internet?
Oh my god. Hey man, COVID.
But I mean,
it's I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's been a fucking horrible year. And they're like, yeah, man, a lot of bad shit's happened. But I'll tell you what, financially, some people actually made out this year. You know?
Yeah, some people did.
You
but
hate
my
to
thing
say
is,
it. Yeah, you hate to say it,
but my thing is
the
this.
Truth.
If we're gonna go into lockdown, then I don't think politicians should get paid while we're in lockdown. I think they should have to experience the pain of somebody like our buddy Oz, who runs his food truck, who, because of their stupid policies, could possibly lose his business.
We know that's not going to happen.
Oh, we know that's not going to happen.
I mean, they're the guys.
Yeah, I think I might go up to the food truck tomorrow, by the way.
I'll be hug over. Tell Charles to come shoot my new friend.
He's gonna be at the sporting clays place, so.
At where?
We'll chat after this. But
he's gonna be where?
The sporting clays place.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook that he was doing something in Tampa with the food truck.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is a dude who works hard. He owns a restaurant, and he said on Facebook, well, who? I texted him about. Actually, I went up to Ocala with my parents. I said, hey, I went to your restaurant, and then he said, oh, why didn't you let me know? I'm like, I didn't want to bother you, but he said, who knows if I'll still have my restaurant after all these lockdowns? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much, man. You know, look at somebody and lecture them about a fucking virus that has a 99.9% survival rate. It's like, what about the people who could possibly lose their businesses, man?
I mean, honestly, it's hard to believe it's real. I mean, like, just from my personal opinion, like, I know it's real. I know it's real. But, like, I don't know anybody that's had it. I go out all the time. All I see is people just wearing masks. Nobody's sick. Like, what is going on? You know, it doesn't seem like it seems like the reaction is worse than the problem. You know,
it is. It 100% is, brother. Look, okay. I argued with a nurse today. He goes, when I said it is a 99.9% survival rate, he goes, young people have died from it. I go, yeah, young people die of the flu all the time. Isn't it amazing that nobody's died of the flu this year?
Yeah, I mean, of course people have, you know, but like they don't report the statistics. I mean, like I'm sure it's more
COVID. If you die of a combination of the flu and COVID, you die of COVID. There was literally a case in Florida where a guy fell off his motorcycle and died, and they listed his cause of death as COVID.
Yeah, but you got both sides of that spectrum where you got people with the liberal agenda, or sorry, I hate to pull politics into this, but it seems like that's
no,
what
it is
really
politics.
but it's it's like you got people with the agenda to make it seem like it's worse than it is, and you have people with the agenda to downplay it. So I mean, I would like to say that they even each other out, but I mean,
obviously the liberal agenda is winning because people are terrified. Like people are walking outside with masks. Like I could see walking around inside with a mask, but outside, what's the point? Like you're not going to spread COVID when you're freaking outside.
There is real cases of scientists questioning the how well masks work and getting blocked on social media and Google.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about social media. That's the scary thing. That's a whole nother subject about the power of
230
Twitter.
needs to be yanked from all.
If you say anything that they don't agree with, you're getting banned. Where it's just like, in today's, yes, they're a company at the end of the day, and I believe in a free market. You should be able to do whatever you want. But in today's day and age, when you're a huge part of society, you should also have to adapt to certain.
Well, this is where I don't agree with the libertarian. This is where I don't agree with the libertarian argument. They're a company; they get to set what they want.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you have that much of a impact on society, then you're basically like almost like a different form of governing, right?
Well, if you want to play politics, then we need to yank the protections. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to have the protections, right? And then turn around and silence me because I don't agree with you on fucking gun control.
But that's the whole thing. If you say something absolutely fucking stupid on the internet and you feel like you need to, a company needs to ban them from saying that thing that's so stupid, right? Think about that. You are literally insulting the intelligence of everybody else by like, they might believe this bullshit.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's just like if you were that concerned that people are going to believe whatever bullshit somebody said on the internet, then maybe the problem isn't, maybe the solution isn't fucking banning them. Maybe the solution is maybe we all should have a better fucking education system. Maybe people should fucking be smarter on average. There should be more incentive.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Like, you can't put faith in the education system.
But all I'm getting at is at the same time. So if you're not going to do either, you're literally going to dictate what should be spread, what knowledge should be spread based on your opinion.
Well, dude,
as a company.
Here's my thing. Richard Spencer is white supremacist douchebag. I need to know that he's a white supremacist douchebag so I can fucking avoid him and tell him why his opinions are stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be protected by Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, because he could be privately, I might think he's a cool dude, and then he finds out that I'm friends with a guy who dates an African-American woman, and he thinks bad of Myrna, and I might need to fucking elbow this guy in the face. I need to know what he thinks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, censorship is dangerous because it kills free thought, which kills innovation. Free thought, why America is so great, why we're the fucking greatest country in the world, or at one time we were, is because our love of fucking all ideas. Censorship will destroy creativity, is my main point. You don't have,
people will be afraid to say anything. You're literally shifting the bar over, and you're constantly shifting it over and over and over again. To the point,
and then you don't get a Steve Jobs that creates Apple, and you don't get a Jeff Bezos that creates Amazon. And I mean, you could argue Mark Zuckerberg, but I still will go back to my argument that he's a baby back bitch.
He's an alien.
He's actually watching it right now. He's laying in bed with
that one viewer.
He's watching it.
He's like, guess what, Naugy? You earned yourself a 1-month ban for calling me a baby back bitch.
We're gonna get up tomorrow. You're gonna be dead.
Yeah, John's gonna contact you. He's gonna be like, I don't know what happened, but he's dead.
Jay's dead, man.
But I mean, it's like the temerity of Jack Dorsey to sit there and suppress the Hunter Biden is smoking crack around the globe article. It it was hacked material. No, it wasn't. He was on crack and he forgot to pick up his laptop. That's not hacked material. You know, Joe Biden was profiting from this. I need to know that.
We're all trying to profit.
What?
We're all trying to profit.
Oh, I know. I am. But I just don't think you should be an elected official in office profiting from your position. I know that's a controversial opinion on things. I think
that's why you never
you should be able. No, this is the difference though. We all should be allowed to profit. The matter is there's people that are profiting at other people's cost. And that's the shit that should be shunned, you know.
Yeah,
well,
that's like stating the obvious.
Monopoly, that's bad. But I mean, if you profit because you have a good business, that's fine. You know, like that's the essence of capitalism. But like if you're using inside connections and doing shady deals,
yeah, that's
crony capitalism. No, people don't benefit. Well, some. The people involved in crony capitalism, but crony capitalism hurts. You know what I mean? Like it's something that I completely disagree with was the bailout of the airlines. You have a poorly run company, like your CEO's a moron. He should have had cash on hand. Why are you taking from my labor to give to this idiot that can't run his company? Crony capital.
The only thing I think the government should get involved in is something that's like national security. You know, like if we have like a tank manufacturer that's having trouble, okay, we should bail them out because we need to make freaking tanks in America. You know, but if it doesn't do with national security, then don't touch it. You know, let them die.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, you can even look at like some of the vaccines and pharmaceuticals produced, you could look at that as a national emergency, a national security issue, where it's like, okay, look, man, we got to step in. We can't have all these pharmaceuticals made in China. Although they're a trading partner, they are actually an enemy.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't be a purely capitalist society because you have a country that you want to make sure that dominates, or at least make sure that's not beholden to another country. So like capitalism is good, but you want to make sure that your country is at least self-sufficient in certain things that are essential to the survival of that country. You know, so if it involves tariffs on something that you need for national security, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree. I really do think like what you said is where the libertarian argument fails. The libertarian laissez-faire argument, it assumes that everybody's a good player. That's where it's always fallen apart to me. It's like, well, if they can make it cheaper in China. I'm like, yeah, but I get that. But do you really want them making our computer chips?
No, I mean, like humans naturally each other. You know, like there's always going to be, group favoritism and competition, and like pure capitalism is pretty dumb because it ignores human nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree because it's like you look at World War II. Inevitably, if everybody puts their interest above everything else, you don't win World War II. At a certain point, you have to look like, all right, well, look, this is for my country. You know what I mean? You're going to have to make certain sacrifices for it. I know that's a controversial thing to say in 2020. Sometimes you put the needs of your nation above the needs of yourself.
No, you're supposed to put the needs of outsiders above your own. That is how it works in 2020. Okay. If it helps your family, that's bad. But if it helps somebody else's family, that's good. That is the morality and ethics of 2020.
Well, I mean, yeah, right. Dude, this was again, I was watching a Stossel clip on this, and it's such a truism. The Hong Kong protesters, another argument for the Second Amendment, when China came to take their rights, they were waving the American flag, and there were Americans waving a Chinese flag. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? What are you talking about?
I mean, there's always going to be freaking complete morons in America. And of course, the media is like, oh, well, if I show these people waving a communist flag, I can make it seem like communism is about to take over America, and I can get more votes for my party, which is why they did it, you know. So,
All right, guys, I gotta go to sleep. Sorry.
Yeah,
This conversation's not boring. I'm just fucking tired, man. I've been running on horrible sleep lately, but it's been real, man. It's
yeah,
good.
we're probably gonna wrap it up soon too, because I can tell I'm starting to fade mentally between the alcohol and being tired.
Yeah. But
But
I'm
no,
just waking
dude,
up early tomorrow, so-
honestly, this was fun. We need to do this more often, but Chris and I'll probably talk for a little bit longer. But
all right, for sure. man.
I'll text you, man. Probably
All right,
not tomorrow night because the Tyson fight's going on, and I know I'm going to be at the
shit, that's
local
right.
bar. I'm going to be watching that in Clearwater.
All right. But if you want to come up to the food truck tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be up there. I'll text you in the morning.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
All right, brother.
Peace.
all right, man.
See
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, dude, it's we jump around. It's fun because this is just like a normal drunken conversation. But it's like I don't understand why people don't realize you're not going to be Chairman Mao because you're not smart enough or vicious enough. In my case, I know I'm just not vicious enough. Like I'm not just I don't have that in me to like fuck people over like that. But all these Antifa douchebags think that they're going to be Chairman Mao running around chop.
I mean, honestly, like I used to get mad about all that crap, and then I finally realized that these guys are like random people that live in Seattle, which is across the country from me. My town is completely peaceful and has no problems. And whatever happens in Seattle, I don't care what happens there. It's across the freaking country. So I don't stress about police defunding or Antifa because if they came to my town, I know the people of my town would freaking destroy them. So it's like, whatever, you know, there's some BS going on in Seattle. That's fine. Let it happen. Whatever.
Dude, it's all a bunch of blue-haired gender studies majors. And I'm like, you realize that you're the actual people that need the police. When I argue about this, though, why aren't you for defunding the police? I'm like, because my body is really fucked up from the service. So I'm not quite as strong as I used to be before. So I need the cops there. Like, that's also why I need a firearm. But even barring that, in hand-to-hand combat, I could take 95% of you. And that should terrify every fucking anti. Like, really? That dude with bad hips and his back is going would take out most of us? Like, yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean, like, the way I think of Antifa, so, like, when I was in college, the vast majority of people were, like, normal people. You know, they were like, you know, standard kids, like, oh, I'm going to get my degree, I'm going to get a job, you know, get married, have kids. And there was that tiny minority that they would go and, like, participate in these stupid, you know, like, super liberal things. But it was always a tiny minority. And I remember it was, like, the weird kids, you know? And that's kind of how I think of all the Antifa people now. It's like that tiny minority of freaking losers that have no value and no skills. That's it. That's all they are. And it's like, okay, some moron is gonna, protest and raise their communist fist. I don't care. Because they're meaningless. They're worthless. They're losers. So it's like, okay, whatever. You go protest in Seattle or whatever. That's fine. I'm across the ocean or across the country. I don't care.
Well, I think of the Antifa people like this. I was watching a bunch of kids when I was on USF campus. They were playing zombies, right? Some people were zombies, and the other one had these like little Nerf guns, right? And I'm walking back from class, and these kids were preparing their strategy, right? And the zombie horde's coming. What they were doing was they were getting inside the tunnel. And I walked past them. I'm like, you don't want to be inside the tunnel. Like, you want to be on the outside of the tunnel so it creates a funnel so you can mow them all down. If you're inside the tunnel, they can flank you. And they didn't listen to me. And one half of the zombies came in, the other one came in the back. And I'm like, yeah, should have been listening to me. But I just walked past them, and I'm like, I don't even have a lot of combat knowledge, and I just put that plan together in 3 seconds walking past you. That's how I picture them.
Yeah, I mean, they're freaking worthless, man. Like, I actually enjoy seeing communists because, like, they're just such losers and they're so worthless that it just makes me laugh. Like, there's no point in getting mad or losing sleep or getting upset about them because nobody actually listens to them. They don't do anything. They're just there,
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree. The problem becomes though, there was a recent article where all these people were crying because this publisher in Canada published Jordan Peterson's recent article or his recent book, and they were crying about it. And I'm like, listen, if I'm running a company,
who's they? It's like 10 people.
No, it is. When the vast majority of people are just sitting around like, what are you talking about? How does this really affect you? But if I'm a capitalist company, much in the same way with Joe Rogan and Spotify, I just walk in and be like, look, employment's voluntary. Nobody forced you to be here. But if I'm setting the standard, the agreement was Rogan could have on whoever he wanted. If you don't like it, I mean, you can always find another job. I don't understand why you're so upset.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, like look at the evidence. The entire world is capitalist. Everybody knows it works. And the whole reason that they show these people is to like scare the masses into voting for the conservative party. The conservative party, which is the same as the freaking Democratic Party. And that's all it is.
Well,
like, I mean, it's all the same crap.
Well, I have a joke. I've told it several different ways, but the origin of it was, if you think coming out as gay is hard, try coming out as a conservative. And then the rest of the joke goes, if you think being a conservative is bad, I was for limited government in the form of marriage back in 1996. Your Democratic Party didn't get behind gay marriage till 2016. That's just like, that's consistent. I call myself a social libertarian, but what it really is conservatism. I don't think that the government has any place in marriage. Limited government.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ideal. It's like, okay, you can build the roads, you can fund the military, I want police in my neighborhood, so I'll pay property taxes. But that's it. Like, I want the cops, I want the roads. I don't want freaking welfare programs. I don't want guaranteed health care at a certain age. It's like, just leave me alone. Just like, don't tax me and just give me the bare essentials that everybody uses, and that's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, I'm slightly different in that I go around with different things, but I mean, for the most part, my thing is it's very similar. It's like, look, I just don't want you involved in my personal life, making life decisions for me. Um, at the end of the day, I don't have any kids. Am I willing to pay school taxes voluntarily? Yeah, because I just think that a more educated population makes a better country. That's me though. But I mean, I don't need to tell you what to put in my body. I just don't need a bureaucrat in Washington to tell me that. It's like, oh, okay, I'll figure it out on my own. And it's like the more laws you write, the more government you're inviting into your life. And I'm just telling you, as a person that works for government, there's a wide variety of people in the government. There are some that you want in your life, and there are some that you don't want anywhere near anything you want to do.
I mean, the government is never efficient. And I know that because I work for an agency. And everything we do, we contract out. We issue contracts to private firms who have a profit motive. And that's how we actually produce things with the government. But the government employees themselves don't really produce anything. They just kind of oversee contracts. So it's kind of like, well, why are we here?
Well, on some level, this is my experience with the agency I work for in the outside world. Some of the employees in the federal system are way better than some of the employees on the outside system. And, vice versa. Thing is, I actually don't know where I was going with that, but I was just going to say, like, I know, like, myself versus some of the guys I work with, I'm way more efficient and better than they are. Is what it is, man. I don't know how you get rid of government to form a perfect system. Is basically what I should have said. I'm getting kind of drunk now.
No, I mean, like, the problem is, like, government work always disincentivizes working to your maximum potential. Because government work, there's no profit motive. So it's like, okay, as long as I do this certain amount, I'm not going to lose my job and I'm going to be good. Whereas in the private sector, it's like you need to do as best as you possibly can because you're competing with other people. And then I compare like my agency to a private sector equivalent, and they blow us out of the water. Like they have much better systems, and they're just by far superior to what we do. They're more cost efficient. They have better technology, all because they have a profit motive.
Well, here's something for you. So, stand-up comedy in Tampa is woke. It's really left-leaning. Me and my buddy Nate that I tried to get on here, he's in ROTC, but we have to keep our conservative views to ourselves. But the funniest thing to me that I don't think any of these guys actually entertain while they're up there doing their woke fucking left-wing comedy, which it's not as bad as other areas. I don't understand how people don't get that. Nobody wants to be lectured for 45 minutes when you're on stage. But you guys are actually the ultimate libertarian argument for economics. Nobody would pay you when you're an unknown commodity, beginning like, i.e., an open micer, to do stand-up comedy. If somebody said, well, you got to pay this guy $15 an hour to get up there and do jokes, and he's new, and he's not worth $15 an hour. He's not bringing anything in. So it amazes me all the time that they're up there championing these left-wing policies when I'm like, listen, dude, you had to get started. You had to work for free before somebody saw some value in your labor. And then you started getting paid.
Yeah, but think about it. even though they have left-wing views, how they operate and the society they live in is a right-wing society. So
I
they can
agree.
say whatever they want, but we still live in a free market in the United States. You know, if you give something good, if you provide value to people, you make money. If you suck, like if you suck at stand-up comedy, you're never gonna make it. It doesn't matter. Like you're not gonna get a check. So like the right wing is still winning in America. You know, it's not like, oh, it's dead.
Well, the right wing economics are still winning in China, because ultimately what they are is an authoritarian regime that embraces capitalism. And ultimately, it's like I look at people and I'm like, at the end of the day, it's always about the dollar. And who do you want picking the winners? The market or some guy sitting up there in his bureaucratic throne saying, "Oh no, this guy's the winner because I know him."
Well, I mean, the market always wins because you have somebody, even if you live in a communist country, you still have a black market. There's always going to be a market, whether it's legal or illegal. It's always there.
American jeans during communism, when you could go over there and somebody would buy a pair of jeans off you for $400 just on the spot. Like, I'll give you $400 for those jeans.
I mean, think about this. So right now, there is nobody watching this. Literally nobody. In a communist country, we would get paid $15 an hour to sit here and shoot the shit because it's in the collective interest. Whereas in a capitalist country, it's like, okay, if your YouTube isn't attracting people, you don't make any money. And that is the right way to do it. Because if nobody wants to watch it, you don't make any money. That's how it is. It's not hard to understand.
I agree. For me, this is like, it's like a labor of love. It's like, on the weekends, like, I'm going to meet cool and interesting people on the internet and get drunk and have a conversation with them. And if it ever turns into something, okay.
Dude, if this never becomes something, I don't care. I don't care. It's like, okay, like I enjoy stocks. I enjoy talking about finances and shooting the shit. I don't care. If it works out, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I think if you're a decent, engaging person on YouTube, you can build an audience. I really do think that. I really do think, and I mean, people overestimate the number of followers that you actually need to make a living. Like, if you get 20,000 followers, right? And let's say you didn't want to do stand-up comedy, but you decided to go out and like do seminars on accounting. Right there you go. You don't underestimate the amount of money that you could make through merchandise and all that.
Oh no. I mean, like, so my favorite YouTuber has like 65,000 subscribers. And I would say at most his videos get like 5,000 views. But he is my favorite YouTuber. And I'm actually willing to like. Have you heard of Aaron Clary?
No.
Dude, you need to watch his videos. You would love him.
Text me his name after, or Facebook me afterwards with his name and like spelled out, and I'll start watching. What is he? Is he like financial or political or?
He's kind of everything. Like he kind of just gives you like a whole worldview of how to live your life, and he's freaking hilarious. Like I'll watch his videos and I'll just laugh my ass off. Like he's a naturally funny guy, and he mostly appeals to like younger guys, that are like, oh, what, do I have to work, Aaron? Yes, motherfucker, you have to work, and stuff like that. But he's freaking hilarious.
Well, I was working on a joke where I go, give me free shit. No, work harder. It's not fair. No one cares. Work harder. Like, I don't know where I want to go with it, but it's just a general idea in my head. Like, do the work.
You need to watch this guy. He will change your life. Like if anybody has changed my life, it has been this guy. And all I've done is watch his YouTube videos. And like it has changed everything. I don't complain about anything. I'm not a bitch about anything. I just do it, you know? And it's all because of this one guy.
Well, you remember earlier when I was talking about that dude I work with that I really just don't like because I think he's weak? He complains, and I look at him and I'm like, I don't think you understand how much pain I'm in. You know, but he's complaining and I'm doing the same job. And I'm like, but my body is way more damaged than yours. And I'm doing this. And, you know, it's just, I look at him and I was just doesn't want to do the work. And I'm just like, I look at him and I'm like, dude, I don't have any respect for you. Like,
Yeah,
you're weak mentally. Like, I don't like it. Like, being in your presence makes me weaker. I want to be around David Goggins. That guy makes me stronger just for listening to him.
He's freaking pitiful. You know, it's like everybody is in pain. Suck it up. Do your job because you get paid because you provide value to somebody else. And that's all that matters. And if you want to complain about it, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just do your freaking job. That's it.
Yeah, he was joking around with me, and I should have said this at work, but he was joking around with me, and he's like, Jay, are you talking to my girl? And I go, Sean, I'll single leg you right here. And he just kind of looked at me, and I was like, and I shouldn't have said it, and I didn't really mean it. I wouldn't do it at work, but it was just because I was like, why are you trying to be my friend? I don't want to be friends with you. I invite you into my world. You make me weaker. I need you away from me.
Dude, you should actually be like really mean to him. You know, it's like, hey, stop being a fucking pussy. Suck it up. You know
what
like
I
just
said?
tear him apart.
You want to know what my boss and I were sitting there talking. We were doing some work and we were talking, and he was talking about him. I'm like, I cracked my boss up. And I looked at my boss and I go, have you ever tried telling him to stop being weak? And he was like, he just looked at me and he just started shaking his head. And we started laughing about it because he is. It's a federal position created for veterans that have problems. And look, I'm not judging you. He's got a drug problem. I like drinking, so whatever. It is what it is. I drink too much, but I show up to work. I put my last beer down 9 hours before I even have to get up to go to work, 11 hours before I have to be to work. And I show up and I do the work. But this guy, he's gotten himself in trouble. And I'm just like, I just look at him and I'm like, what are your fucking issues? How is your life so hard? Why are you like this? He's got issues with a lot harder stuff. But, you know, it's at a certain point, you know, the old military saying where you look at somebody and you're like, you need to unfuck yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like, you should find a job that, like, gets you away from people like that. And if you have, like, veterans preference and you have a degree in finance, you can easily...
No, dude, I will. I'm just building up where I'm at now. I'm just building up outstanding ratings because, like, my actual chief has seen my work, like, and he's come out. He's like, this is literally a conversation I had with my chief that gives nobody compliments and rips on everybody. He looks at me and he goes, I'd just like to thank you for working hard. I've seen what you do. And I was like, I ran away from the guy after he said that to me because, quite frankly, he scares me. Not like physically, but he's just got that demeanor where I'm like, I don't want to get yelled at for something. But he thanked me. And then my boss came up to me and he goes, yeah, I heard about what so-and-so said about you, man. You know? So I'm building up
the ratings don't mean shit. Like, I get a rating every year. Like, the federal government ratings are meaningless. But like, if you have a degree in finance and you're a disabled veteran, you should get the same freaking job that I have, which is a government accountant. Because the vast majority of government accountants don't even have accounting degrees. They don't.
No, I'm gonna do it, but I'll just I'm gonna sometime we'll talk about what really happened that I don't want to talk about on air.
Yeah.
Sometime when you're not too drunk, because I put this mildly, I got under another boss's skin because I wasn't one of this individual's sycophants. And you know how the federal system is with certain people when you won't be their sycophant.
Oh, I'm a glorious sycophant.
Yeah, this this particular boss and I just didn't see eye to eye because I pointed out that there was a lot of what I would consider fraud, waste, and abuse.
Honestly, yeah,
So-
like you should call me on my phone, and we
Yeah,
should talk.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I'll
yeah, so I got hit with a I got hit with the fucking entire phone book. And so I had to do some things that I didn't necessarily wanted to do to escape. And that's the position I find myself in.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about it. But I mean, if you're
Yeah,
a
to the-
disabled veteran with
Yeah,
a
dude,
degree,
to the point where another employee that I work with is launching a lawsuit against them.
yeah, I mean, dude,
And
you should be
just I was just a person who wouldn't knuckle under, and also in the department that I work in now, saw everything and said, "You probably have a case for a lawsuit." I let it go because I just do my thing, and I found myself I had to take this job or.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about it one day.
Call
All
me,
right, brother. Let's fucking call it a podcast, man. We gotta do these frequently.
Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
I probably won't be up, man, because I got to take a wicked piss, and we're like 2 hours and 45 minutes in.
All right, yeah, this works for me, man.
All right, brother. I'm all right, man. It's always fun, dude.
Yeah, we'll do it again this week,
Yeah.
next week, whatever. We'll figure it out. Call me.
Yeah, we'll talk offline about all that shit, but
Yeah, actually, Facebook me. Don't call me. My phone service is dead.
yeah, no, that's why I was wondering, man. I text you and I'm like, didn't hear anything back. I'm like, yeah, that's strange. Wonder if something happened. It's an emergency. And then I got a Facebook. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. Yeah.
I'll explain that to you.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
I gotta go.
Have a good
I gotta
night.
take a wicked piss. It's late.
Yep.
All right, man.
Have a good night.
See it.